there was this one guy he called it an anthology series
Yeah.
where they just
Anthology. Okay. I like that. Big word.
just go into certain characters for a little bit of time. They
Right.
complete their goal, boom, bam, move on to the next. And as much as I'm very enthralled with the
Right.
characters that they have brought to our attention, I am very much so dying for context for a lot of the stuff outside of
See?
just the character
Oh, you talking
stories.
about the pre-mad me last week that I wasn't gonna
Yeah.
talk about.
Yeah. I'm finally settled into where you were, but just at probably at a more accepting place.
Right. Yeah, yeah.
Because
Because
you
I
were going
definitely was
through
raging out the other day when I
you were
called.
going through it.
That was last week. God, time flies. And Rashawn is in the chat and
Yeah.
said that
I
chat,
am
it's being
right there.
weird. And I don't know what it's weird means. So if you could tell me, like, is the sound weird or are you saying it's weird because it wasn't on YouTube? It is on YouTube now. So we are live on YouTube. So let me move my camera because I don't know where it's at. Okay.
And I'm not a great source for this because you sound awesome in my ears, but that is
Yeah.
also not what is being
Yeah.
broadcast. So,
So we're working it out. We have to get reacclimated to being on OBS and not YouTube. Oh yeah, no, the screen's going black was me. Anytime I minimize Discord, it just goes black. So that's me. So if that happens,
okay.
that was just me minimizing. But it shouldn't happen now because we're good to go. I don't know why your volume is down so low.
My volume?
No, like not to me. I'm looking at the dashboard. Like, everything has to
Mm.
be manually done and it just kind of just be doing whatever it wants. But just let me know if before everybody comes and goes. Just let me know if one and I sound even, or if one of us sounds too loud. We tried to do this hours ago and have it set up, but silly me thinking it was still gonna be set up when I came back. That was dumb. I don't know why I thought that. That's not a thing. So yeah,
But we try to put in the effort for y'all.
yeah, we try to have this
We
all
try.
done beforehand, and despite our best efforts, it just not happening. But yeah, so let's get into because we have a lot of episodes to cover because we haven't talked about this since episode 4, I think. So the
We
last
haven't.
time, yeah, the last time we were talking about this, I think that was right before Esau's little arc or whatever, little story
Well,
back.
I did kind of want to do like a recap of what
Yeah,
we've experienced so far, just to
yeah,
bring us to a place of like what we understand so
okay,
far.
I like that.
So yeah, let's. So we got the first arc was nice and Minling. That's his
Lin
name.
Lin Ling Lin Ling.
Linling.
Yeah.
Linling. So basically we get his backstory, and what I got from it was that he is, the character or the story arc that has like kind of a, it goes to a place where he, I want to say, as a character,
Yeah.
breaks free from the whole like I'm this other hero. He has his own identity. It kind of sets us up to be like a happy ending,
You're right.
except for Moon getting shot in the head.
Which is crazy because we started off, I think, with that and forgot. We
Mhm.
kind of got comfortable, and then, like, yeah, they definitely reminded us that that was gonna happen. So that happened.
Right, his little foreshadowing moment in
Yeah,
the
it was like
bed.
a little foreshadowing early on, and then we forgot, and then it came back. So I mean, that was cute. Wasn't
Mhm.
expecting that, but that's kind of
But
where we
we
left off.
also,
Had we left off there when we last talked about it?
well, no, because we got into Esau's story, but from, if you don't be quiet, TV,
I was
from
like, who
just
is
that first arc alone, we got the introduction of that character
that?
and
Mm-hmm.
his new identity as a commoner, but we also got um what we saw, the dude in the red suit. That was, I think, the
Yeah.
first higher up we saw
Right.
from the hero commission.
Right.
So in my mind, I'm immediately making him like the big bad until
Okay.
we move forward into the next arc where we get Esol, the new and the old Esol storyline. So this is the one that I had to make sense for me the most because I was really not processing this arc as a whole.
What, the
So
ESO
he,
thing?
yeah, like the whole old Esol, new Esol, the ending and the explanation of that. But just, I guess his arc as a whole was kind of like the opposite of Nice's.
Right.
So his ended up being not really going in the direction of a happy ending. I think from the moment Homeboy died
Right.
in that setup, that's where his story just completely went tragic,
Yeah.
downhill
I was not expecting
to the
that.
point where not at all. To the point where I wasn't fully processing this series of events. So you helped me understand or get to a place where I could accept
Right.
that he wasn't the goal in the murder.
Yeah, let's
I
talk
do
about that
believe
though,
now.
because we haven't gotten a chance
Yeah.
to talk about that really. And I don't know if that's like
Mhm.
really the accepted thing. So if you're watching this on YouTube or Twitch, let us know if you're watching not Big Hero 6. To Be Hero X. If you're watching that, um my belief is that the hit was for his friend the whole time and not him.
Mhm. Right.
Even
I'm
though
with you now.
I think he believes that the hit was for him, I don't really think it was for him.
Mhm.
I think he just believes that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think all the breadcrumbs were left in a very like, this is the way I want the viewer to digest this information because this is how the character in the story is digesting information. Although, that I don't believe that the show would be that straightforward with everything they've done so far. So I'm now of the understanding that Rock, which was his like mentor guy to do that on the store or the restaurant, he did set up everything with the intention of like getting what's his name? Because
I don't know
their
the
names
Eso
are so
name. I don't
confusing.
know Eso's like
We're gonna say New
regular
Esol.
name. New Eso. I just call him New Eso. Yeah.
He
I
was
don't.
prepping New Esol to get to the place where he could I guess be malleable,
Right.
which was putting him in a complete place of just utter
Yeah, I think
despair.
because you could also see like his willingness to take out the people around him to give him that boost, like kidnapping the
Hmm.
boy who was his friend and then killing his
Right.
friend. So like even when I went back and looked, and I was like, okay, that still makes sense. Like he was willing to
Yeah.
kidnap the boy because that was his only friend, and so he would just take out his friends, which is dang, that's really shady.
Well, I think he was trying to set him up to be able to one get into position to be able to become the actual new Esol,
Right,
right?
right,
Getting the trust value up, which that event helped, and then moving forward, framing well first sacrificing the his friend
right.
to be able to take him even deeper into like anger and revenge
Hmm.
and pretty much framing old Esol,
Right.
which took me a minute to process because I just wanted old Esol to be bad so
And he
badly.
really wasn't.
And I'm realizing watching it back, he really wasn't.
Was he just
Like
like too
he,
old and bothered? And shout out to Deanna who said Yang Chen is New Eso's name. Thank you. That was on
Yang
the
Chen,
YouTube
thank
the
you.
YouTube
So we
side.
got
Yeah.
we got Lin
Lin
Ling
Ling and
and Yang Chen.
Yang Chen. Yeah.
Yang Chen.
Yes.
So yeah, so Yang Chen, I mean old Esol. And I just found out too, I decided to watch all the trailers
Mhm.
again as
Mhm.
well, like all the ones we didn't see on live, and some other breakdowns of like the intro. And I'm realizing now that I don't think there is just one big bad. I think
No.
in each of these arcs, we're getting introduced to a new higher up,
We're
and I
getting
think them
more.
all together.
Yeah. Because we're getting more info,
Yeah,
which I don't want to
we
forget.
are
I don't
slowly.
want to forget this point, which is why I'm going to interject it now. One thing that I did enjoy about the Lucky Cyan is you see that the world doesn't look the way it does now. Like if let's go with
So
the
say that
theory.
again for me.
Okay, so we're going with the theory. Let me know what y'all think in chat. We're going with the theory that those animation changes that we saw all through Lin Ling's and Isol's
Hmm.
um character arcs or whatever we want to call them were happening. With Lucky Cyan, that didn't happen.
Yeah, most of her story, if
Most of
not
her
all of it, all of the
story,
story was
I
2D.
I think all of it was like anime 2D. I thought I was tripping at
Yeah,
first, but I was like, I'm pretty sure it's all the same, which I think is
because
interesting.
I don't see, think we seen Lucky Cyan in 3D at
We
all.
haven't at all. Which to me, I'm like, so what's going on there? Because my understanding was that the world is like that kind of 3D animation style that we started with. But when you go back to her, It's not. We didn't get any changes the whole time. And so I'm like, what's really going on? And as you can see, I think what the underlying story is behind everything is that this trust, whoever's behind the trust system and this society is growing as we're seeing the story. So I did want to point it out because I didn't want to forget that I did notice that it never changed once. And I had the theory that the guy who walked past her at the fountain was the guy
Was
who
X.
snaps. Yeah.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, okay. I was
I
gonna bring
thought
that
that
up
was
too
him. Yeah.
because he in his trailers and in the other previous trailers, he was always that dark haired guy.
Yeah.
And when he used his powers or whatever, he could change his appearance to that light
To the
skin. I
white
mean,
hair.
white hair guy. But
Right.
also in those trailers, the subtitles were saying that nobody knows what he looks like. Period. So
Oh.
even the black haired
Yeah, we
version of
never
the
saw
guy
his
probably
face.
isn't. Well, we saw his face
Did we?
in the trailers. Like it
No,
was
I
a
mean,
whole
no, I
six
mean in
minute
Lucky
trailer.
Cyan episode, he just kind of walked by and
Oh
we
no,
just did
no,
like
I don't
that.
think we saw his
We
face. No,
didn't, yeah.
no. We know what the dark hair guy looks like. We're just not in the show
Yeah,
so far.
exactly.
So I do think that was possibly him.
Yeah.
Um, but also, you know how they do in these intros where like they did it in Bleach, where Yuhabak or whatever his name is,
Mm-hmm.
his person switched visuals with Zangetsu, which was just a clear spoiler. Like, hey,
So it's
there's a
kind of like
connection
evil twin,
here.
kind of like evil twin vibes or something. I don't know, but
Yeah,
it's like
they
the
did
same.
that with old snapping dude with
Yeah.
X. He kind of they switched his position with this like dark visual, like it was just like a black silhouette kind of with like colorful eyes and like a
Is something going on
jack-o'-lantern
with
type
him?
mouth. I'm thinking that X isn't in the picture yet fully with Lucky
Not with
Cyan, I'm
no. I
imagining.
don't think he has his power because once again we got to the end of Lucky Cyan. We're jumping, but we got to the end of Lucky
Mhm.
Cyan's arc, and they said people were trying to utilize fear, which we know in the future they have
Okay,
already figured out how to do it. So it seems like whoever's
exactly.
utilizing fear, and also just knowing what we know about the trust system, if X or the guy who snaps power is to change, we know the trust system makes your power stronger based off what the people believe about you. So to me, it's
Hmm.
also proving that because even when we did new ESO's arc, I feel like we didn't get as much animation changes though. Like even though we got changes, it was just two
Yeah, it was mostly
versus
3D and it switched over to 2D.
right versus when we were in
Yeah.
that first episode, honey. It was like three or four. I feel like I saw like three or four styles in the first
Yeah, yeah.
episode.
That first one was definitely the animator showing off, but like I
Yeah,
really do believe it plays into X
him.
somehow.
He
I'm
doesn't
just
have his
not
powers
certain
yet.
how.
I don't think he has
But
his
even
powers.
X in general, I don't understand his powers.
Yeah, that's what I
Like
mean. I don't.
I need an explanation for it because it's like it's more than just changing
Yeah,
the layout of the world, you know, from 3D to 2D. Like he's
what
fusing
is he
people into
use?
walls and like it's so Doctor Strange
Yeah,
type
yeah, he's
of
different.
reality manipulation.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's like even just watching it. There one of the trailers, it was an extended version of just him
yeah,
fighting
because he
these
was
like
teleporting. It wasn't
hundreds of
just
people.
changing the spot he was in. He was going to all new
Yeah,
spots. Yeah,
exactly. Like he
yeah,
was on the top of the roof, dropping people from the ceiling, going back to the original alley,
right.
fusing people into walls, fighting their image in the sidewalk, the concrete.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was just like trying to make sense of it, and I just couldn't. So now I'm at
I
the
don't think
point where
I
I'm
think
like,
they're
it
doing it
just.
on purpose because they're slowly unveiling him through everybody else's story. Like that's kind of my understanding of it. But Deanna said
Mhm.
from here on out till X they said it's gonna be 2D. So that's what was said, which I think is
Oh, I want.
interesting.
That is like
Right.
just in general, like period from here on out. I mean,
Um
looking at a lot of the trailers, a lot of those are 2D, and most of the only 3D that we see in the trailers are stuff we've already seen.
yeah,
So
but
that makes sense.
yeah, and then kind of, I think we talked about this on the phone because I called Toyn last week, raging as we said. But I think that we're going back farther and farther and farther in time because obviously, as we're going through the show, they're telling us, what do they call the thing? They always have how many years something. I don't know what it always says. Anybody in the chat, y'all know what they say? It's like the organization. Something so many years since the organization. Because I think at
Oh,
some point in this episode we were like 26 years after the establishment or something.
the commission or whatever.
The commission, yeah. So I think that's probably why. So I think I don't know. I don't know what's going on with X, but obviously the scene changes are related to him. I feel like Lucky Cyan's story is confirmation of that. And so I can see there being no more because he doesn't have powers. Like, I don't know if he don't have powers, but obviously he ain't to the point he is by the time.
Like if we're gonna keep going back,
If we're gonna
because I
keep
feel
going
like
back, yeah,
the other two stories were
we just
close
going,
enough to
yeah.
be in the time of X being the number one hero, because previously I believe it was Esol. Esol was the number one hero. He was X, and
Mm-hmm.
he like I think there was a hero who I believe is maybe X. There was a hero named Zero who pretty much
Mm.
almost destroyed the entire last top 10 and heroes in general. And I think Esau was the one to stop it. So that was kind of what was hinted in one of his episodes.
So who do you think, if everything is linked? I guess we're gonna go back to the orphanage runners story. If we're going back, like we keep going back, so it's logical that I think there's two things happening. We're going from 10 up. So we went from the 10th place hero, now we're at 7. Lucky Cyan 7, right? So we're going back
Hmm.
in modern times. We're going backwards. Like we're covering all the top 10 backwards, for one. And then two, we're going back in time, like sequentially. So we know that the orphanage guy was a hero who retired. So if they keep following the blueprint of you meet the one, they like all kind of link. I think we're gonna get the orphanage guy's story. And I think he was
But
the
I'm
hero with the
like,
blonde hair who flies. I think he was the one with the red and he has the blonde hair with the cape. Because I feel like in the back, it was the one part where she was like, he used to be a hero for a short time and it kind of showed him. I think that's what he
mhm.
looked like.
Yeah, they showed him with like some type like fire type
Right.
powers.
She said Queen is
But
next. Queen is next.
Queen, that's the thing. So it can't be going in order because Queen is like the number two hero.
So Queen is the number 2 hero.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
and we also skipped over the dog,
Yeah.
who is I think like the number 8
Yeah.
hero.
So we went 10, then 7. Where was Esol though? New Esol is.
So Isol is 9. So it's nice or now the commoner.
Yeah, I cannot
Then
find the episode
it's
schedule.
Isol.
Yeah.
And then after Isol, I think it's the dog. And then after the dog, it's Lucky. And then it goes up from there. And I know that Queen is a second. She's
Yeah.
right below X.
But all of these people are linked too. So I do think, because it's not just, obviously it's not just gonna go, we're gonna get the current heroes, I think, but we're also going back and learning about old heroes too,
Mhm.
for whatever
Yeah,
reason. So it's
I
kind of
don't think
like
there's a
two
specific
things.
order they're going in, but I think it's like
Let me
just
find this
connecting um the
stories.
people who are connected, like that's chaining each story together. We're
Right.
gonna follow them. I don't.
I did see that
The thing
schedule
that's
and I could not for
interesting,
the life of me find it. Here, let me find it on Reddit. But
yeah,
go
if you do
ahead.
find that, send that to me.
Yeah.
But what I was about to say, yeah, it's confusing the orphanage guy because they show him in the back in the preview. I mean, not the preview, the
Okay.
flashback, having like fire type powers. Then we see him using like wind type powers when he first gets introduced using his powers.
Right.
And then it goes from that to like these spectral type arms,
Yeah,
which I'm just like,
he got
what is
spectral
going on
Oops.
with him specifically? Because I
Okay.
know trust and stuff like that changes your abilities and what you can do, not just your how strong you are, but actually your reality. So he's obviously being manipulated by fear.
Right.
So now I'm like all these questions about how fear changes your powers and whatnot. Like it's
Because we
just
know by
like
the
I
time
don't think we can ever.
when we started the show, it was already full-fledged. And Queen is the white hair girl. I was like, I don't know her name.
Mhm.
The white hair girl, Queen. So we're gonna follow her. So yeah, you do meet whoever they go to next is somehow linked to who we met. So I forgot about her. Child, I forgot about her. She was on the first one and this one. So we're gonna follow
And she
Queen
actually was
next.
affected by Lucky too.
She was.
But we'll get into that when
Yeah,
we talk about her
we'll
the
get into
actual
that too.
episodes.
But yeah, the whole Iso thing, anything, I mean, we kind of resolved that story, but I'm still annoyed though. I do have a bone. That's my only bone to pick with this show, with the how they're telling it, which is
Mm-hmm.
interesting. I like the slow reveal, going back in time and also connecting it to the. I like that, but sometimes I want answers to some of this stuff, and I just really don't think I'm gonna get it.
I
Like
think we're
the
gonna get
Iso
it. It's just I
thing.
feel like we're not gonna get it until like episode 24. I feel like they're truly going to just tell these heroes' background, which I do like because it's making me actually care about each individual character
Yeah, I do
very
like that.
successfully.
Yeah,
Yeah, so I feel like they're just going to bank on the strength of this level of storytelling with the characters at least to
us
keep
rooting
us
for them.
enthralled until we get the actual answers.
Yeah, because I mean, for that little small complaint, and I did find the schedule that for that little small complaint that I have, they do a great job in those 2, 3 little episodes of making me care about these characters. So a
Yeah.
lot of times I'm starting off the episode like annoyed because we're leaving the character I wasn't ready to leave yet. But then usually by the
Right.
time we get to the end, I'm like, okay, I'm invested in the story. So they are doing a good job.
Yeah.
Yeah, of that.
Like it's like a attention reset every time they end one story and we get pissed. They're like, hang on, you're gonna like this next one too."
Hang in there. Yeah.
Right. And which honestly, they're the I think the way the characters that they're choosing to introduce and the order that they're doing it
Yeah.
is really good so far because
It
I am
is.
liking the next one more than I'm liking the last one.
That is
Honestly,
true.
Lucky Cyan, I will protect her to the ends of time.
I wasn't expecting to like her until I really just oh my gosh. Okay. Well, let's
Really,
get into
I thought she was gonna be your instant like favorite off top.
nah, I didn't think that was gonna be the case. I mean, she is now. And I literally cried this past episode. So I be crying though. This show
Oh,
be making
did
me
you?
cry. You know, I don't have no heart. Deanna says the creator has plans for 48 episodes, so season 2 is confirmed. Which I'm
Yes.
so
I
happy
mean,
about.
they already made me extremely happy with 24 episodes.
Yeah,
I'm
I was
like,
happy with that.
bring this
Cause
back.
this is such good level storytelling. Like it really is. Like I love how they're doing it. They're doing a great job. But Lucky Cyan. So we got to her story. There was a plane crash. We started off there. And I
Hmm.
like her character because she reminds me of Miku. Like obviously, I feel like she was inspired by
Hmm.
Hatsune Miku. So
Has to be.
yeah, I absolutely love it. I
Put her
like
in
the
ponytails,
whole
can't tell a
you
difference.
can't tell a difference. And I absolutely love the whole battle angel thing. I wasn't really buying it at first, her whole story. I did like the unlucky boy and the, you know, her being lucky being together. I was like they had me basically at that part. So at what point
Hmm.
in her story were you locked in? Like was it an immediate thing or was there some point in her story where you were like, I really like her?
I think it was immediate for me just because there was instant sympathy given. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it's this little girl who pretty much has no control over her life whatsoever from the plane crash on. Um,
Okay.
better go out there and get it. Somebody snatch that shit up.
I thought I
I
was
had somebody
muted. So
steal
I
my
wasn't
DoorDash
muted at
before.
all.
Not at all.
But
uh,
yes, okay. Go ahead.
uh, but yeah, I think it was I immediately just felt for her.
Yeah.
So on the journey, I'm just waiting for her to like have her moment. You know, all these episodes, these 3 episodes, I'm waiting for her to have her moment. So I think I was just on the ride to see how it unfold from the very beginning, and there was nothing in my spirit that told me she was going to have some type of like nefarious
Mm.
second personality or something like that. Like, you know what I mean?
She
So
is just
like I was
classic magical
full.
girl, almost pop star,
Yeah.
like classic.
Exactly. So
Classic.
I was kind of locked in from the beginning. But I definitely enjoyed. I'm not gonna lie, I thought it was moving kind of slow the first episode.
Same.
I wanted more from her story, but looking at the 3 episodes as a whole now, I think it was paced out pretty well.
Yeah, I absolutely loved it. Yeah, it was paced out really good. I had a hard time locking in the first episode, but I think it was also that
Yeah.
whiplash effect that I'm talking about because I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
wait, you don't know the guy betrayed you, and like you're leaving me there, and I'm still trying to figure out what's going on with Moon. Like they're just compounding all these questions I have at the end of each one.
Mm-hmm.
And that makes it really hard. So I think it's just like a whiplash effect, and that's why it was hard for me
But
to
it
lock
is.
in for this one
Mm-hmm.
at first.
It is slowly not making more sense for me, but I'm seeing kind of the I'm seeing the thread of events kind of lining up. Now I don't exactly see why exactly the motivation, but I can see the people's development getting to where they are. So
Mm-hmm.
like with Iso killing Moon, like
Mm-hmm.
that definitely looked like the body stature of new Iso
Yeah, that
versus
was new
old
ESO. He
Iso.
had the new ESO outfit on too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And oh, and just touching base real quick on the previous Iso storyline. When they did their clash,
Mm-hmm.
and now under the understanding that old Iso wasn't really evil,
Yeah.
at least from what we
He
saw.
really wasn't trying to
Um,
like be. He wasn't really
yeah,
trying to do
his
all
his
that.
yeah, his heart wasn't in it, and he was a victim kind of from Rock the entire time. With the whole, with the trust value system,
Right.
it really drives home what nowadays social media is and how
Mm-hmm.
the online rhetoric can really fuck your entire life up. So you got to be a hero, you know, keeping the good graces of
The
your fans and
people.
everything, your followers. But then on top of that, like any small thing, just think about if you're a hero with Instagram now and Shade Room exists. Like
Yeah, I mean, we saw that with
you
even with Lucky
cannot.
Cyan, like how basically this whole thing started with somebody saying that, oh yeah, she gets her look from taking it from other people, and she was
Exactly. That's exactly
tanking.
what I'm talking about. And so like if you really dive into the comments of the Shade Room, it is a miserable place. And a lot of these people, they come to troll. And the troll ends up breeding seeds of truth to the people that are a little
Yeah,
bit more susceptible and don't do their research. So it's like there's some people, some factions of people you just cannot change the opinion of how they feel about you once it's released. So it's
right.
like thinking about being in this society, this world. I was thinking to myself, I always do that when I watch a new anime. Is this a world I could survive in or would want to be a part in? When
No.
that question gets brought up, like it always does, I absolutely would
Mm-mm.
not, because
No.
there's no guarantee for anything. Like everything's so fickle. Like
And
you
I
could
was
be
done after
literally
Nice
number
couldn't
one.
leave. Like when Nice was like he wanted to go, and the fans were like, "You can't go," and he couldn't leave. I was like, "Oh no,
But Moon's
no."
was even more. Like
Moon, yeah,
when you imagine getting powers finally, just finally getting an ability and one that you actually, I can deal with this, teleporting wherever I want to go, no
it
problem. And
changes.
then one nigga pop up in your life and now they obsessed and you can only teleport to him. That is insane.
I know.
I could never, I would never live here.
I want no parts of it. And how did they even get to this system? But that's why I love the going back in time and getting the answers because I am so curious to know how this system popped up and
Yeah.
why it's how are these things being are all the people getting implanted with these when they're born? Like,
Cause I'm about to say some of it's from birth. And it's like,
yeah.
now, does my spirit determine this font?
Like,
Like,
why does
you know
everybody
what I
have
mean?
this thing? Like, I'm so curious to see what that's about.
Mhm.
There's a poll for the
Oh,
viewers to choose the ranking for season 2, and Lin Ling is currently number
oh,
one.
I haven't talked to you about this. I
Yeah,
talked
that
to
was
this
in the
in my
comment.
little Instagram anime group. Did you find out about this before now?
No, this is just in the comment. She said DM
This
said
is so dope. Apparently, there's a poll that's going on right now, and
right.
depending on where the people land at the end of this poll, that's going to be their power
So
level
we're
going into
like,
season two.
so we're like in the universe now. Like we give them trust value now. I
That
just
is
love that.
so dope.
Yeah, that's cute. I like that. That ate.
Now, I like this, but when I initially heard it, I didn't like it only because I love it now, but I didn't like it only because I didn't know how long this show was going to be, and I
Right.
didn't know if this was going to be a continual thing. Because
Right.
in my brain, this is a really nice one season little
It's too much.
game or little gimmick, because moving forward, not being able to like sit down and structure a story from beginning to end
Mm-hmm.
and plot out a character's development versus just taking on whatever America or the world, you know, puts them at, and that determines kind of the storyline essentially. I don't like that.
He's like, I
I
don't
don't
like it.
like that.
Well,
Let's do this one time and let's
so does
dead
that
it.
mean that that arc, whatever is going to happen in season 2, is not already written? I'm assuming.
Has to be. It has to be the answer, because
Yeah.
if the poll
There's
ain't
no way.
closed, you don't know.
Yeah. Okay. We'll see
So
how
that's
that
what I'm
plays
saying.
out.
Like
I don't know.
one time only. After season 3, that needs to be y'all had planned
But that
that.
48 episode 24 for one season, like I've been complaining. I've been like, can we get an anime with 24 episodes in a season, like the old school days? Like I was so ready for
That's
it.
what I'm saying.
So
Like
I'm
I'm
very
done with. I
excited
feel
about
like
it.
Demon Slayer really got the girls being like, we can do 7 episodes. That's what the
Don't get
people
me
want.
started on
That's what they're
seven.
living
Don't get
for.
me because we just got out of Last of Us. We just got a lot of in
Yeah.
7. I mean, I know they're long, but still. And Devil's Plan was out here giving us hour and 30-minute episodes. Anyway,
Oh,
for
spoiled.
12 episodes. I know I'm like spoiled, but what was I gonna say about Lucky Cyan? Oh, I cried. Let's go back to that, the emotional moment
Yeah,
of
yeah,
Lucky Cyan.
yeah.
I
Because
literally
you were
cried.
saying that's when you got locked in with old boy with
Yeah, I mean, I was already locked in.
Lou.
Lou. I was already locked into their story. Is it Lou or you? It's Lou, right?
It's
L
like
U
L
Lao
L O
L U
U, I
O
think.
L U O or something like that. But it was just like the part where she was going through that whole thing about they were like, oh, she gets her look from taking it from other people, and they were using these crazy like fallacies to prove it. Like, well, if you get a job, somebody else lost it. I'm like, that's not me taking their look. That's just me getting a job. So, I mean, it was kind of like, but I could see that working online. To your point of how social media is in Shade Room, or one person say one thing and it takes off and it's stuck. Like that whole idea that because she survived and they all died, it was her fault is crazy work. I'm not gonna eat yet right now. Yeah,
I mean,
that's
I'm
actually
not gonna lie
crazy
to you.
work. So
The idea of her taking luck from people in order to get her luck,
yeah, I mean
it kind of it kind of
it's
holds up.
I mean it's true, but some of the fallacy is not true. Like it's true. That's why I'm saying it's like a fallacy. It's like true, but it's
It's
also
one
like not
perspective to
true.
look at it.
Yeah, it's kind of a to say she took their look. I don't think it was already they were already fucked. Like even when you look at the tape of the crash and like how she got her
Hmm.
powers, like oh y'all was already finna die. Like she did not cause none of that.
Hmm.
She survived because they had wishes they wanted to pass on to people that they wouldn't be able to say it to. So in essence, they put
Yeah.
all their the potential and future hopes and dreams into her. That's when I cried. I was like, oh my god, like
Yeah, I
that
did get
is.
emotional. It was that they were trying to squeeze a tear out of me.
Oh,
I didn't cry,
they
but I
got
definitely
me.
got in my
Ooh,
feels.
they got me
But
so
I
good.
think, but I think there's like, because when I brought up perspective, I get what you're saying there. Like that we're told in the story, kind of this is what happened. You know,
Yeah,
all these people were at no one knows about the end, and they put all their hopes and their trust into this little girl that she would survive, etc. So, but I think just on a principles kind of viewpoint, like somebody, I think, was it used in the show, or somebody
mm-hmm.
used an example of um Lucky walking down the street and finding a dollar bill.
Yeah.
Like that's luck for
That's
her, but
somebody.
somebody lost that dollar bill in order for her to find it.
Right. And they
So
said the
it's
thing with the
and
job.
that's just a way of life though. Like
Right.
everything's gonna have, a yin and a yang to it, a cause and effect. And I think it's just a perspective that is being put out there. Like once they get this perspective of her being given
Or
this
like
trust versus her
taking
taking
it.
it,
Yeah, I think
that's
that's
when, yeah, that's when her trust value shot back up to the roof and landed her in the top
and that's what
10.
I mean. It
So,
was a lie. Like it was a lie in the sense of it was true. Like there was some merit to it. Like he was saying, the other
mhm,
example was if you get the job, somebody else lost it. You took their look.
exactly.
Like I was like, oh, that's kind of, but I could see that working in real life too. That's the thing when I was thinking when you were talking about it. Like, imagine that in real life, and I'm like, that's kind of how it is because that was such
I think
a.
it
It would work. People would
I
buy
think
that
it
shit,
depends on how many of your fans are cup half full, cup half empty type person.
and most
You know what
people
I
are
mean?
cup half empty.
Yeah,
Most people
exactly.
are niggers.
Wait a minute.
You niggers. You niggers. Like, no, most people are niggers, especially online. So I feel like if people just want to hate somebody, just remember how long Sierra
Oh,
people
niggers.
niggers.
Like negative people.
Yeah, niggers.
It took me until just that moment to get
I
it.
know you didn't
I
think
was
I
like,
was.
how did we get into this? Now, how I get it?
How I get it. Just think about how long it took people to stop believing that Sierra was a hermaphrodite. That's always what I go to when I just be like, people can just say stuff
And Lady Gaga,
online
too.
and Lady Gaga. But
Because
I mean,
I'm not going to lie to you, my dumb ass was one of the ones like, oh my God, they said Lady Gaga got to do it.
but hold on. But considering how Lady Gaga behaves, I could give you being a little. If somebody was like Lady Gaga may be trans, I don't. It doesn't bother me. It doesn't change anything about her, and there's no proof like to either side. Sierra done had about 4 kids. And I still see goofy niggas online talking about shit hermaphrodite. And
That's
I'm
true.
just like,
That is true. 100%. And for me, it took the telephone video for them to make a joke about it, for me to realize how stupid I felt. I think it was the security guards that was like, "Yeah, I knew she had a dick. I knew she or something
yeah,
like
I
that
mean,
because she
but
had
you gotta
spread her
think,
legs
Lady Gaga
open."
also does stuff to stoke stuff because she literally pulled up to the VMAs as a whole man. You weren't there.
True,
She had
and
that
covered in
moment
meat.
and covered in meat. She was grabbing her
Yeah.
crotch. So Lady Gaga also feeds it, but I'm just like that. I mean, that's just proof that one bad thought statement catches on online and it takes off. So I can totally see that happen, which it brought an
Ooh,
element of
being
reality to it.
that's why old blonde hair girl that was assigned to Nice. That's why she was such a bitch because you got to think your job as PR is insane.
Yeah,
Like I feel
I
like
would not
PR
want that
people need to be
job.
like second in command because
But
they
that's
have
the
to
thing. We watching this
legitimately.
show and it's extreme in the sense of like they get superpowers, but I feel like online is basically the trust system. Like it's kind of the same. You just don't get. I
Yeah,
mean, you get money. You don't get powers,
that's true.
but you get
That's
money.
true.
Like
And you get canceled, that shit goes away.
and just like even I was thinking about DreamCon. We didn't go to DreamCon this year. You got something like DreamCon where a lot of people didn't go to it. It's just now catching on for real, because of the streamers. And people say
Mhm.
stuff about it that's like completely not true. Like for me, there aren't many people that I'm seeing evolve based off what people believe about it. So the best thing I could think
Mhm.
about that is this phenomenon in real life is like DreamCon. Because like DreamCon, a lot of people hadn't gone, but everybody talks about it or what it is. And like
Mhm.
over time it's become what people said it was. And as somebody who went
Yeah.
3 years straight, I knew it wasn't those things. But now I
Yeah.
think this year is becoming what people are saying it is, just because people have been saying that's what it is. If
Great
that makes sense.
example.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this totally would happen in real life. Totally would happen in
Yeah.
real life. I wouldn't want to be a hero. Like if somebody trusted
No.
me, I would have to kill them immediately. If that if that number went up to 1, we
Don't
gonna
you?
have we gonna
And
have
it
that
was
little
just your
awkward.
homegirl yesterday. You was having a breakdown with your homegirl talking
Right,
about how work and life is too much. And she said, girl, keep fighting because
right.
I believe in you.
I believe
Bitch, what?
we gonna have to have that
You
awkward.
gotta go.
Cause you imagine me sitting across from you and you suddenly got trust. I'm like,
Cause I be boosting you up.
well,
You know what, girl? I take that back. I never saw it for you.
thank you.
No, those was
No, we gotta
empty
keep that number
words.
low. Deanna in the chat to my I believe in you, girl. Don't believe in me.
That's the quickest way for you to hit that exit,
I'd be
bitch.
ready to cut the stream off when it get too hot in here. When we was
That's
when
the
we was
thing, man. Like, actually, if I could maintain it somehow, like if I could get like 600 people to believe in me, just enough
you just want
to
six
get
hundred.
like
I can't stand you.
just to get like a little bit of a little 1-2 abilities,
Right.
self-serving, make my life a
What
little easier.
And for people in the chat, if you're watching on replay or now, if you had it as you are today, not this is make it harder. As you are today, if people started trusting you, you became a hero. What with your power? What would you get pigeonholed into being?
Mine would, unfortunately, because I'm so stupid.
Not I'm so
I feel
stupid.
like I feel like my power has something to do with like comedy. Like I
Yeah.
feel like it would take place. It would be maybe some kind of sonic ability. Like my
Mm.
laugh would blow bitches away. It would probably be
I
something
think
really
that's
stupid.
kind of accurate. Like it would be something silly, but I don't know. Like maybe
Like
you're.
yours would be able to like you would be able to like scan a straight nigga and see all the problematic
I just scan
issues and
people.
red
I
flags.
definitely think I
Yeah,
would
that
be
would
like a
probably be
people
yours.
scanner. Yeah, I could like see through people,
Yeah,
but then when my trust value got too high, I would literally see through people, and it would be nightmare fuel. And I would have to
exactly.
eat myself like nice. So your power would be making people laugh. So what happens when your trust value gets too high? Like what would be your breaking point? You think? Like it'd be cute at first. Like oh, I make people smile and laugh. It's great.
Oh, that's probably what it'd be. It would probably be well, I was thinking more of like destructive nature. Like I have this booming cackle.
Oh no, not booming
That's
cackle.
yeah. I
So
just yeah, because I when I laugh it's not cute. And I throw
so
my head
then
back.
so then
I
when your
project.
trust value gets like at your peak where you're just like ready to be done, like Esau clearly was. I could just see you being like they feel like don't
I can't talk. I can't
you have to
talk.
like
If
cover your
oh,
mouth.
that's what it would be.
You have to
It
cover
would
your
be
mouth.
like Scarlet Witch, how the dude had the little fork on his head and his vibrations would kill everything in the vicinity. But when she took his mouth away, he imploded from the inside.
Yeah.
That would be me. I wouldn't be able to speak because if I even whispered,
So you have
it
to
would
have some like
destroy
weird
everything in that
mouthpiece or
direction.
something. You probably end up being like
Yeah.
that. Oh, that's
And
crazy.
that would be my fuck over moment. Like what's his name?
Oh,
The
like
dude
the
that couldn't
dude who
bend
could,
over.
yeah, who had to stand, he couldn't take a shit. Yeah.
That would be me.
Mm.
I couldn't talk, and that would destroy me.
Yeah, you wouldn't be able to laugh.
I wouldn't be able to laugh. I wouldn't be able to sing.
And I
I
have to be
sing
like
80% of
Gojo.
the
I think
time in
I would
my
just have to
house.
blindfold myself. I think I would just have to
Shutting up
blindfold
would be
myself.
very hard for me in like a long term situation.
Rashawn says I'll be able to talk tech, but they would all have those annoying anime character personalities. Like
Wait, say
like
that again.
Yajirobe. I would be able to talk tech, I guess. I don't
Mm.
know if that's but they would all have
Like
those
he would like
annoying.
have like this weird prodigy.
Oh, he'd be like Yajirobe, he said in Dragon Ball Z. Yajirobe is
I'm trying
pretty
to think
annoying.
because yeah, I'm trying to think. I feel like Arshawn would he would get a very tame, very logical,
Oh, he said
very useful
he'd be able to talk to
ability,
machines. He would be able to talk to machines, but they would all be
but they
annoying.
will all be annoying.
Like
Okay, yeah, I
Yajirobe.
can see that.
Yeah, that's
I
annoying.
can see that. So what would his be once he hit like number one in the trust value?
I think
What
being
would
able to
his
talk to machines would
setback
be like
be?
kind of OP. Like you could just go up to machines and hack them by just talking to them. That would be kind of cool. But I don't know what would happen. What would be a high trust value version of that? They're annoying, but it's got to be like catastrophic. Like
Maybe
it's
they
not.
would. Maybe he would have such like symbiotic relationship with
Mm,
machinery that they would start to see him as like kind
they
of
would
a
just talk
machine,
constantly. Like
and
even
he
when
would
he.
probably lose his humanity
Oh yeah.
slowly.
Either he loses his
He would be
humanity
very.
or it's never quiet. Like he would have to move off the grid because the machines would start talking to him constantly. Like they would never shut up.
Mhm,
That would be annoying. And
destroy all humans.
Deanna says draw characters and they would never leave, like Roger Rabbit cartoonist. Ooh, that's a good one. So you draw. So hers would be like she can draw characters and make them come alive, but then they never leave.
Oh yes, you can never erase them.
Oh
Just a
God.
room full of doodle bobs.
Oh my God. Just the army. Could you imagine the press conferences? Like they have to figure out what to do with all her drawings and then they like probably put them on the island and enslave them for labor.
I would in my universe, we would create a foster home for for all
For
her
imaginary
drawings,
friends.
and we would dole them out to kids the hopefully the more friendly drawn ones.
No, but if it was in this show, you know that's what would
Oh,
happen though.
but
They would
hey, girl,
definitely,
draw draw me like a six
yeah,
foot
draw a
seven
couple. I got
Gojo
a couple
and make
commissions.
him. Hold on, girl. This is about me. And make him like real swole. Draw him with like a really
It's a pretend power.
mischievous smirk,
She don't have the
and then
power.
put like in a heart
It
behind
doesn't.
him. I love Antoine.
It doesn't. She
Do
don't
that for
have the
me.
power. It's not real.
I trust her.
I
I
trust.
believe in her.
Well, if it was in this show, they definitely would make it like all her drawings would be slaves, and it definitely be a
Unfortunately.
big problem. But that's
Although,
cute.
okay, but we're gonna get back on track because I did want to say that I'm happy Cyan's story for the most part. It felt like it ended in a happy tone.
Yes, I was so glad he wasn't really dead.
Yeah,
I was gonna
because
cry
they
harder.
definitely was playing in our face, making it very like he is gonna run out and get shot in the face like Jesse. Like it's gonna be a real
But he wasn't
aggressive.
unlucky enough for me. Or maybe they just was like his parents died, so that's all the unluck you need. I don't feel like I saw him. I mean, I saw the truck hit
Well,
him. I saw the truck. But he kind of
right.
seemed like I want to take this hit right now. It's not like just as a character, I'm like, if you say you're the embodiment of unlucky, just like she has all this luck, like I expect him to have wet
Mhm.
socks all the time, or just like he stubbed his toe
Now, wet
every
socks,
time.
I would end my life. If I had to go through life with wet socks, I would end it.
I
But
just
I feel like they were a it was a balancing act once they were in each other's presence. Like I feel like he had
That's fair,
the moniker of being bad luck before getting there, and as
and it's
he
like
got
it
there, we
balanced
didn't
out.
see much of it. Yeah, we saw the visual representations. I feel like with
Yeah.
her green
Hmm.
dots floating around, and the potential red dots floating around him. I'm confused as to whether that was his ability or
I
if
think
that
it was just
was the
like,
small percolations of fear.
yeah, I was curious about that because at first I thought it was just like the guitar comes with this ability to make these sparks, and maybe the colors are different depending on the person. That's what I
We only ever
initially
saw it do
thought.
green though.
Yeah, that's what I initially thought, but I'm not really sure anymore either. I am confused
Yeah.
about that. And Deanna said he seems more like a jinx, which yeah, I think jinx is a good word for it. Like he's just a jinx.
Well, to follow up on that, so he had his reputation before. He gets to
Hmm.
the orphanage, and I feel like their abilities are kind of canceling, not cancel each other out 100%
Like
because she's still
balance.
providing luck. It's balancing it out. It's throwing his off,
Hmm.
at least.
Hmm.
And so we see once she leaves,
Well, yeah,
it's all downhill.
yeah.
It's all
It went
downhill. It
all
goes
downhill, and she
extremely
went
strong.
way up. Like
Exactly.
she kind of was
Exactly.
normal,
So
yeah. So yeah,
yeah, so his bad luck was probably like dampening her luck, and her luck was dampening his bad luck. And once they separated, each of them just went completely the fuck
yeah,
off.
that is true.
And I think it's a combination of things with fear and his ability. I feel like because of the circumstances, it allowed the orphanage to have that downward spiral and have a more potent breeding ground for fear
Yeah,
to take hold.
yeah. I think it's all the bad thoughts. It's probably like an environment between the leader being, being upset about it. And I love that. To me, the show kind of captures like something that you see on TikTok, like with the algorithm. It kind of to me seemed that way. Like it just kept snowballing and snowballing and snowballing. And also, like, I have a question. Why did the orphanage man feel the need to go to him and be like, your parents died because of her? Like, why did he want him to
I,
not leave if he was such bad luck? Like, was he keeping him to get her to come back? Because when she came back, he was like, "Girl, get the hell out of my face." So it don't feel like he wanted her to come back. So why was he keeping the kid
mhm.
there?
Yeah, I'm a
Like,
little confused by that too. Initially, I just put the reasoning for him saying that was so he could kind of like hurt her in a way.
yeah,
Because if she can never really truly reconnect with him,
mm-hmm.
he's severing that bond or
Right,
severing that tie,
right,
which we see was pretty effective once they met up again. You know what I mean?
mm-hmm.
So I think that was kind of like a preemptive way to like get back at her,
Yeah,
even though it wasn't an immediate thing.
yeah. That's what I was thinking. Like, was it just a way to get back at her? And how much time? My other question is, how much time do we Did they say how much time had passed since she left and when she came back? Or
I think a total of 11 years passed. So the first time was like 5 or 6 years when it comes to the time skip. And then we saw another 5 or 6 year jump again.
so why was he still in bandages?
I don't know, girl.
Chat,
I don't know.
chat. Was he just
Because it
like
was a good
constantly
amount of
getting?
time,
I
I
feel like he had
believe.
more bandages. Like,
Yeah, I mean, he didn't have none. He got hit by that truck and didn't have some, but I
did
don't
he
know if
had?
it
He
should
had
have
some after the
lasted that
truck, right?
long. Yeah, it was after the truck.
I feel like he had more bandages every time I saw. Was he getting beat? Like, was he being, or was it his
That I
bad
guess
luck?
we could
Maybe,
read into that. I
maybe that was his
guess
bad luck then.
just kept fucking him
Like he
up,
just kept
no
like
matter where he went.
falling, like he kept breaking his arms, like he would just like get hurt constantly because she wasn't there to balance out his bad luck. Maybe I'm thinking.
Probably, I feel like they left enough open, like for us to just come up with our own, because I don't think that was
It,
ever
they said
given any dialogue.
a month since she left the orphanage because he was saying she don't look older, so they made it seem like it had been some years.
Because it was so when she was first brought there as a kid, the first jump was like 5 6 years, so she was like 6 years old, and then the next one was
No, I mean from when she ran
me.
away. When how long between
Oh,
when
I
she
don't know
ran
how long.
away?
Well,
Because
yeah,
they
if it
said,
was a month, that makes sense
yeah,
then.
that
But
makes sense.
still,
Okay,
like, nigga, you should be out them bandages by then.
at least the head ones. I don't know. He was still pretty so up. Maybe his bad luck made him heal slow. I don't know. But yeah, that was my two
I mean, but
questions.
also all the people trying to find, and if this is in real life too, like whenever something goes wrong, people have to put the blame on something else besides themselves.
Yeah.
So once she did leave, and I think that's probably how her powers could have worked too. Like people, like she got people in these relationships
Mm-hmm.
and all these fortunate situations. And then when she left, I feel like maybe because she left, the luck wasn't propelling these situations anymore. So
Mm-hmm.
all of them just took a hard fall off. So I think there was a moment where there was having the random people's dialogue saying it's your fault that, me and him broke up, or it's your fault that I lost
Yeah.
my job. They was all putting that all on Cyan, which
Yeah.
also was pissing me off because, like I told you, at this point in time, I will protect her till the sun comes home. I wanted to
Yeah.
fight everybody, bitch. You ruined that, okay? She gave you the keys to make it work, and
it
she
it
hit it.
it definitely was given. We don't talk about Bruno. Like that's all I was
Yeah.
thinking with that whole scene. I was like, this is we don't talk about Bruno because he was like he told me my fish would die or something, and look at it, it's dead. And like it was giving that to me. So that was yeah. But I did like the whole sequence. The one speaking of the everybody in town blaming her sequence, the one that came with
Mhm.
that, which is behind you right now as your background. Just that whole sequence of her skating through town, fighting the little
So good.
zombies, going through the
I
tunnel.
liked
Oh,
her
I love that
getting
whole thing.
to I kind of like her getting to
Yeah,
the orphanage more than her being at the orphanage. That
yeah,
was a really nice sequence.
yeah. That was the sequence I like when you see her skating through the city and like avoiding the people and like cutting the corner. That was such a good sequence. I wasn't expecting that. I'm glad we got to see her be a little bit of a battle angel. I like that.
Yeah, I was curious how we're gonna get there though, because in my head, I could not weaponize her abilities as we were going through these 3 episodes.
Yeah.
Like in my head, I'm like, okay, well, how do we beef it up? Like, I feel like the things that they did decide to show in her arsenal are completely random.
What do you
They
mean?
kind of make no sense to me.
What do you
Bitch,
mean?
what is this spray? What is this Lux spray you have? Is it just water in a bottle that when it comes out, because you are who you are, it's lucky mist? Like she was going around
So was
spraying
that?
it, and I guess it was heightening
Oh,
her
because I
ability
thought she
to
had
like.
smoke bombs. Like when she first got into the thing and she threw down the smoke. Was that the mist or there's a smoke bomb?
Yes, no, she had like a spray can. That was
Yeah.
another thing. She's apparently a ninja, but she she
I
had
was
a
fucking with
like
the
a spray
cyan
can.
smoke bombs. I was fucking with the cyan smoke bombs.
I mean, yeah, but like
That's a
that
reasonable
that's
thing.
just that's just a regular smoke bomb. Cool. Anybody can have
Yeah,
that.
a little
But
smoke.
what is this spray?
Yeah, I don't know what the spray is.
What
Is
is
it
this
like
spray?
Lysol? It's
How does
purifying. Maybe it's like pure because she was the maiden.
girl get out of my face? Get
She was
out
a
of my
maiden. She
face.
was purifying people, so maybe she had purifying spray, little Lysol.
It wasn't no purifying happening. What she did was she sprayed it all around the venue, and apparently, I guess it heightened her ability to have good things happen. Like it
Okay.
boosted up her
It's like
odds.
purifying, like sage.
You go.
People be burning sage and stuff. She probably sage spray.
Okay. And this whole archery mechanic bitch win. Like like everything that happened, I was just like,
Okay,
girl,
but you didn't
where
see.
did you get
Okay, but you
this?
see when he got the new guitar and they was like, "You got to be a battle angel." People think the purity maiden is played out. It's not. It's
Yeah,
we need
they had
some.
that
So
conversation,
then he
and
made
then
the
she
bow and
said, "Oh,
arrow.
I gotta go. I gotta go and save my friend," and she just became
Oh
proficient in
wait, hold on,
everything.
wait. Now I'm following you. I'm following you. Yeah, because there's no way all this happened in a month.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, granted,
But
obviously,
he
suspend
seemed
your
no.
reality. This is
This,
a cartoon.
but this also feels like it was longer because he was like, "You haven't grown," which would be weird to say to somebody after a month. He was like, "You've been gone so long and you haven't grown. You still look like when you left." And that's to me was weird to say if it had only been a month, right? So
Now I
my
want another
assumption would
episode.
be my assumption was that it had been a couple years because I feel like when she left, it was like wasn't it like 31 since the commission, and then it was like 26 on this episode. It
Let
was
me
like
see.
26 years or something like that. So I thought maybe it was like 4 years or so. But then he was still in them bandages, and that's where I was like, okay, well, couldn't have been 4 years.
Okay, so it might have been some years because it says Lucky Cyan is 18 years old. And if her time from
Like being born and the plane crash to get into the orphanage, and then her leaving the orphanage was like 11 years, then that's a good 6, 7 years unaccounted for.
Yeah, I was like, when she left, she had to at least be 12 or 13. I would just say maybe they left when she was like 12 or 13.
Yeah, so I guess yeah, during her time becoming,
But why is
you
this
know,
baby
who
in these
she is,
bandages then?
I have no idea, girl.
I am really upset.
I think they just, I think they like you
I
just
think
be
it was
happy
his
he not
look.
dead. Okay, if we can't kill him, we gonna give him some crippled nature.
I guess. I guess they had to give a reason why he couldn't leave, right? Like maybe it's like, well, why couldn't he
Or he
leave?
just didn't have no else other place to go though. Like who's gonna take
Yeah, and
in
he got bad
literally the
luck
harbinger of bad luck?
because
You know what I mean? So
he had been in a lot of
he
places.
found a
Yeah,
place that would take him in. I probably wouldn't leave either, to be honest, even if I am surrounded by zombies.
I guess. But
Because
also, okay, why we
he's the
wait,
he's the one that held
wait,
out the longest.
wait,
He's
why?
the one that held out the longest. Everybody is
But
fully transformed. They
also,
walking around with keloids on their necks.
talking about stuff that don't make sense, like the spray. Deanna agrees the spray didn't make no sense. Okay, y'all hating on the spray, whatever. And then also her shooting the swords. Then what was that about? Like, does she have purifying powers or look?
No,
Or
that's
was she?
she sprayed her arrows with your Lysol. So we got our
I guess she
answer.
got
Let's move on.
purifying. I guess it is a
Purifying
purifying
spray.
thing because she was the purity. She was the maiden of purity. So I guess she kept the
Yeah.
I'm the purifying battle angel kind of role branding. I think it, yeah,
Well, in my head, these were like some kind of mystical arrows
yeah,
because I couldn't. At a certain point, I could see her like with a physical arrow in her hand that she put into it.
yeah,
When I thought they were just gonna like materialize with the thing.
yeah,
And when she was shooting these people, bitch, she's pinning them to walls.
yeah.
They're
That's the
going
other thing.
through their shoulder into the wall and holding them up like this. So
I mean,
they're
but
physical arrows.
but also at the end of this scene, I wasn't sure if they were dead or asleep because I didn't see nobody get up.
Yeah, I don't know, like if she went in and just really KO'd everybody, or if she just knew. But how would you know that you have the ability to like stop this fear from growing? You know what I
Look,
mean?
y'all got too many questions. They said y'all watch all the Sailor Moon and then had these questions, so y'all gonna leave us alone.
That is true because we was not digging for no answers, trying to make sense of this, bitch. We
Okay,
just accepted
but
it as it came.
last thing that didn't make sense, among other things, but now this baby done went in there and she done got the USB drive. She done put it in the computer. I gotta play it now. Okay, that's cute. Old boy sliced the computer in half. It's
Fucked
gone.
it all the way up.
It's gone. She threw the thing to hit the water, which was cute, a little callback. I said, okay, he gonna snap out of it. How the tape start playing? Cause water typically with electricity, if it wasn't dead by then, it was just it's gonna dead it.
This is my attempt to make this make sense.
Okay.
We have established now that the trust system affects a lot. It actually defies reality.
Okay.
So, in the chase, in her efforts to get to the orphanage, I think she pulled that spray out and sprayed the street, and the car said, "Let me."
Yeah, they kind of just right. But I don't know
So
if it
I'm assuming.
removed the curse and then she was just lucky, or it made them move for her.
I think it projected her luck, and it made the most optimal situation for what she's trying to do take place.
Right.
So I feel like this is I can't stand behind this, but I just feel like she used her lucky spray. She used her lucky ability to just literally rewrite physics and science and allow it to have the outcome that she wanted. That's the only thing I can imagine.
Yeah. I guess
Literally the
because
only
in I
thing,
guess
because
because in the
he
past scene
destroyed
she
that piece of
didn't.
equipment.
Yeah, she didn't want her look. Back when she did it the first time, he was like, "Okay, we'll get rid of your look." And then this
Mhm.
time, she used it for her. So I guess it was just her really channeling her power. She wanted to do it to save him, and so.
It's the power of perspective.
And
It's,
then his
it's, it's
bandages
what she
fell off
wanted
too
in the
from the
moment.
water too. I thought that was interesting. He didn't have the bandages no more.
I mean, he didn't have him at the end.
Which
Did he have any scars or anything underneath the bandages?
he was moving. So I don't. Maybe the
Yeah, he
bandages were
did close.
just like
Yeah.
a emotional state kind of thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just really.
To show how downtrodden
He was just
and,
like, yeah,
and
he's just
hopeless he
miserable.
was.
Yeah. So I'm thinking the
Yeah,
bandages
the
were just
optics.
that. Yeah, it's just optics. So I mean, yeah, I guess.
I loved this arc.
Yeah.
This is so far my favorite character, as far as just like the person, their motivations, circumstances, and how
Yes,
it
she's
ended.
easy to root
This
for.
is my favorite. But it did probably, out of all of them, leave me with the most questions. Just because we already have the questions unanswered from before, but this is just like now it's just kind of not plot specific, but like character specific. Like, how is this even possible? All the
Yeah.
other situations, I feel like I had a very clear cut reasoning and rationale
Yeah,
as
you
to how
like, this
things
is
work.
wild.
All pretty much all the abilities for the most part,
Because maybe this was just
besides this
early
one.
days before they really, really, really knew how it works. So let's just chalk it up to like trust system iteration early. You know how you had them
Yeah,
early
let's do that.
exploits you could do on games, and then they patch it, and they're like, you
Yeah,
can't do that
they
no
got the
more.
patch. Yeah, she was into beta testing.
Yeah, yeah, we're just gonna say that. Yeah, we'll just go with that.
Okay, I can get with that. So essentially, this at the end of it all, this is kind of the origin story for Fear itself. And I think at the end of the episode, there were some people talking about
Yeah,
Fear,
yeah,
like we're not the only ones invested in this or whatever. So it's a part of me is wondering if Fear is just this natural occurrence that is like the balancing act of trust. You know, like
yeah.
how
Is it a trust
and
thing, or is it just a yeah? I guess negative thoughts
I'm thinking it's
like
a
curses.
thing because like even in like what was it, Game of Thrones, once the dragons were born,
Yeah,
now that their magic is in the atmosphere, that's kind of what activated the White Walkers. There has to be that balancing act. So I feel like maybe fear is a natural occurrence, but it's going to get harnessed and manipulated by these other outside forces.
as heroes get stronger and the trust system
Yeah.
kicks in, I think fear is like the opposite. I don't think it's her specific, but yeah, I think that's probably what we're gonna
Yeah, not
find.
her specific. Like
Yeah.
I thought it was for a second. I thought
Me
she was
too.
going to be
I thought
like
she was the
the
one
birth
who
of fear.
introduced it into the system.
Yeah, but
But
I
I
feel
think
like
makes
it's just
sense.
like she happened to be around in this circumstance where, because I think this entire district was affected by fear.
Which is
So,
crazy when you saw the trickle effect of like people stopped eating.
mhm,
Like it was like first it was her, and it was the orphanage, and then it was the town and the food. Which is crazy.
exactly.
Crazy.
Yeah. So I think this is just like kind of like one more question added to the list of things that I do have confidence we're going to get the answers to. I feel
I
like
think we
with
will.
this level of storytelling and everything might not be making perfect sense like this spray, but I feel like they're gonna really tie up the big questions.
Cause we'll
I
get.
don't
I
know if
think
we're ever
we'll
gonna
get the
get answers
questions
about the
we.
spray.
I think we'll get the questions we had in the beginning, like when we first met Nice. I think they're gonna answer all of those things. Maybe like they may not answer
Mhm.
why Nice decided to do whatever he did,
I
but
feel like I saw some additional scenes when I was looking at the trailers today that had Nice in it that
I
I
think he.
haven't seen before.
Oh, really? Well, I mean, if we're
Yeah, so I
going
think we're
further
gonna circle
back
back
in
around.
time, because we don't know how old Nice is, and we don't know. I feel like there is a chance that as we go farther back in time, the people we've already met, we will see just before maybe they were who we met them as. So I think that's
Hmm.
totally possible, and I hope that's true. I do hope we get to see the characters before we met them, like kind of in modern day. Um,
Hmm.
but I think we will get the answers kind of to that because I remember thinking in the first episode when the whole thing happened, like, what is the trust system? Who makes the trust system? Why does like kind of those early days questions? I think we'll get the answer to a lot of those. I don't know if we'll get the
Yeah.
questions about the personal relationships that we want, like what happened as far as
Yeah.
like Esol, like what happens to the girl who was with him? Are they gonna end up together? I
Yeah.
don't know if we'll get those answers.
Yeah. Part of me feels like those major things within each specific character story
Yeah,
won't be. I think their individual story is wrapped up. I
yeah.
think we might get the only person where I don't 100% feel that way is Nice because I feel like he and Esau has to have some type of come to Jesus
Backstory.
moment.
Yeah.
They have to have some type of interaction after this. They can't
But
just leave.
that's the common. I mean, I think we'll see the commoner again. You talking about the
Well, yeah,
commoner? Yeah, yeah, yeah.
the commoner and Esau, they
They
have to
definitely
have
gonna
some
run
type of
up on. Yeah,
interaction
they definitely gonna run
because
up
he
on
did
him.
that in front of him, and we see him with the blood on his face as the camera lands, looking at Esau. So,
And then
like,
also
what
their
was the
stories
very
are
next
like kind of
accurate?
similar. You know?
Yeah, just opposite outcomes. The
Yeah,
commoner had the more satisfied, good ending versus
yeah.
Esau, who
But
just went
having the
down a
person that
spiral.
they care about murdered in front of them, that's why a part of me is like the only okay if I feel like if they're trying to do this storytelling where they're giving you the answers without saying they're giving you the answers or they're foreshadowing, you got to have one of the others. Either you give the answers or you at least foreshadow an answer that makes sense or leave some kind of. The only thing that would make sense to me in that way is that just like his uncle set up that the person he cared about was murdered so that he could have the drive to become bigger, New
Hmm.
Esol did that for him with Moon. If there was any kind of thread that I could find between seeing his whole story, that would be the only one.
Hmm.
That really, because Moon didn't pop up in his story, Nice didn't pop up in his story, old Nice, new Nice, and then his story is mirrors Nice in so many ways of like, I just imagine old Esol having gone through what he went through because he was the first person to do that. He was
Hmm.
the first person who was a commoner who became the
That's true.
hero himself. And then Nice was almost like a commodified version of him, where it's like, we're just gonna take this kid now and we're gonna make you become
Hmm.
the hero. And
Yeah, the precedent has been set. Now we're gonna
we're gonna
do it
do it.
again.
So to some degree, I feel like that's behind the Esol murder thing. I don't know if it's a specific beef with Moon or anything, but I can see a lot of parallels, and I think that's is something there, but I can't really figure out exactly what it is.
Okay, and also I haven't. I've a part of me is like, yes, this is new Esau that's standing next to Rock in the top 10 tower or whatever. But another part of me feels like that's too easy of an answer. I feel like when they said that they had the clash and that they couldn't really make out exactly what happened, but they saw that both trust scores had merged into one,
Mm-hmm.
meaning that one of them had to have died. Because we never got 100% closure on that, like
Right.
showing us a dead old Esol or showing us a victorious new Esol, I feel like there's a world where probably either they legit somehow fused together
Mm-hmm.
or like it was just maybe a more metaphorical type of explanation for new Isol having the demeanor of old Isol.
Yeah,
Because
kind of
the
that
person standing
cold.
next to Rock, yeah, that was
Right.
not new Isol that we initially got
But
introduced
maybe
to.
he, as
I
he
think
became the only ESO, he took on some of that. Oh, that other ESO, because that's kind of how he
exactly. That's
was.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I'm saying. I think either it was done throughout whatever mystic nature of this trust system, or it's just simply Rock put him in such a place, broke him down to the point where he was just this walking vengeance toy.
Yeah.
And once he got it and he succeeded in his mission, now he's just this empty vessel of misfortune. And I feel
Mm.
like Rock is
And
kind
he
of
just like
manipulating that at
taking
the
out
moment.
anybody who's competition or anybody who I don't know. Like it
Maybe
could
because
be
I
a lot
feel
of
like that's
reasons.
tragic enough. He
Yeah.
he he does not have a. It's tragic for a reason, and I feel like that's part of it. Like he's no longer who he used to be. He's now
And
this
who
new
knows
creation of
who
a
else is
person.
gone now? I mean, if old girl is gone too. Deanna says the creator keeps leaking little bits on Twitter and does a Q&A after each arc. He has stuff to say about Nice. Okay, I gotta try to find some of his Q&As or see what he says about Nice. I'm very invested in Nice. Still, out of everybody,
I am
so out of the
too. I am
three,
still like
I'm very curious. I think out of all the arcs, I have questions about everybody, but yeah, I'm still most invested in like what the whole Nice thing. Like, what is that? I think I'm
I think
most invested in that.
I'm the most invested as like I want to know more about their story in general.
Yeah,
That's nice 100% or the commoner. Both of them actually.
yeah.
Even though they're two separate people, I do want to know what led up to Nice's suicide,
Mm-hmm.
his suis, but I also want to follow up with the commoner. So I think as plot wise, them are the ones I'm most interested in. Just character in general, who I adore, is
It's
easily
look
going
like
to be Lucky Cyan for right
same,
now.
same.
And I think Men was just a great transitional story.
Yeah,
Like it was enough to keep me interested and move the plot forward. But like I'm not dying for more
to know what
information
happened to
about him
him.
outside of closure with the whole moon thing.
Yeah, same. As far as before we wrap up the last little segment I want to talk about, we know Queen is coming next. There is a timeline. When we get off the stream, I'll send it to you, but there is the schedule of heroes that they're gonna talk about. Queen has 2
Okay.
episodes coming next. So we're gonna follow Queen, white haired girl who we saw here. And we know at the end in this past episode she was talking about being depressed and Lucky Cyan's reason she came out of it, and we don't really know what's going on with her. We had that one shot in the beginning of her talking to her dad, I think, and saying she was going to be number one day. She seemed very like tsundere, like she's very like serious. She don't play, kind of like that.
Hmm.
And then we saw her in this past episode. So leaving off with Lucky Cyan's story being about fear and how people are utilizing fear or researching it, and then we're going into Queen's storyline. Do you think those stories will be connected? Like, do you think she's the character they're going to use to explore fear?
I'm not sure. I think she's going to be more so. If I had to guess, I assume that she's going to be more so of a window to us getting more information about these leaders in the
Mm,
commission because
because her
her
dad is
dad.
powerful. Yeah.
Yeah, but I feel like so far, even though we can't trust anybody, we just can't. I feel like if I was going to put a good label on any person so far, it would be her dad. Maybe he's the only one that I could see some semblance of trust.
Mm-hmm.
Every other higher up or lead that we've got it, because I feel like in each arc we've gotten another lead or another higher up.
Like
Like in
maybe they
this
all
last one, we
working
got the
together.
yellow-haired man. That's what I think. Like we got the yellow-haired man in this one that was managing Cyan.
Mm-hmm.
So I
Right.
think he's part of it. Actually,
Because
in
he
the
came and took
intro,
over their order. So it feels like anytime they find a hero, they come in and take over.
probably. But in the intro, there's a scene of a red room,
Mm-hmm.
and there's four people in it. One of them is the dude in the red suit with the gray head, gray edges, black hair. He's sitting in a chair across from the dude with the yellow hair that we got introduced in this arc.
Mm-hmm.
And in the background, now this is the thing that I had to think about for a minute because I was like, well, there's two people we haven't met yet. There's one dude sitting in a chair, I think like L,
Uh-huh.
with this pink shirt on.
Mm-hmm.
and he got this crazy hair. I don't think I've seen him in any trailers or anything, so he's a complete mystery. But then there's a tall man in a suit with kind of silver hair,
Mm-hmm.
long, and he's staring at a picture that looks to be of Queen.
Okay.
So
There is
I'm
two
at
men with
first I was
long
like,
hair. There's two men with long hair.
but it's a thing. I was trying to figure out who it was because he had long hair and white. We haven't seen a person like that. But then I was like,
With
well, we
age.
have been going back and
Yeah, we're
forth,
going
so
back in
I feel like
time.
that might be Rock
Yeah.
with silver hair.
Yeah. Because if we
So
I gotta
they
go back
have to
and
be
look
working
at
together.
how many years we are. Because I don't know what
Yeah,
year since the commission was started. We started with Nice. I don't know how many years we started, but I do know
yeah,
with Lucky Cyan we're at like 26 years or something like that. So I don't know
yeah.
how
I
many
mean, that's
years.
just a random guess because I'm just assuming that I don't know
I
how
think
much
it's more.
time, especially if new Esol, if he's still that same body stature. I mean, people stay forever twinks,
Yeah.
so he can't say that he got a mask
And
on,
if
so he
that's
could
what
be
the people
aged
want
too.
him to look like, then he'll just look like that too.
I guess yeah, that too.
Yeah.
So it's a possibility that could be Rock, and if that's the case, then I just know these four people, they're the ones that are really pulling the
They
strings. Like
running this. Yeah.
yeah, they. I feel like they're the ones that really has to do with this fear thing.
Yeah. And that's what I'm thinking, and it's on brand. And I think we were kind of talking about that with 41 years was when Lin Ling was introduced. Thank you, Deanna. You holding us down in that YouTube chat, okay?
Really
Thank
is
you.
though.
Appreciate
Really
you for
is.
real, for real. I really appreciate you. Um but I think that is the thread I've seen because we were kind of talking about this last episode or on the phone. We talked about it somewhere where I
Mhm.
was like, even when you look at Lin Ling's story from the beginning, there's still this weaponization of fear to push heroes. Like fear as we were introduced to it in present day or year 41-ish is being utilized obviously by somebody to push heroes. Like we know
Right.
that. Even though it didn't start that way. And Lucky Cyan's arc, it seemed to be like a natural phenomenon of people
Hmm.
talking shit.
Yeah, but it's been
But
harnessed at
it's
this
been
point.
harnessed. And that I
It's been
think this
weaponized.
episode like solidified kind of what I was thinking about that. And because we saw that Lin Ling, as soon as he became nice, his manager became a villain with fear. It was
Hmm.
like instant.
Yeah.
And it was just like no reason that would have happened unless they were like, okay, we pulled this kid, let's turn his boss into a nemesis to push him into stardom and give him the push he needs to become whatever we want him to be. So they're also using
Hmm.
fear to like push the heroes too. And
That's
that's why it
interesting
kind of
because it
makes,
could be
and
like an
that's on brand for Iso's uncle, that long hair guy,
Rock.
Rock. That's on brand for
Mm.
Rock, I think.
Okay, because I was about to say they do have that built-in system, but that probably is being phased out with this fear potentially. Because like that's the whole storyline with Nice. He was, um, his partner became his arch nemesis.
Yeah,
Uh, that was manufactured, so that was I guess their way of pushing his trust value up through those
through
victories.
that,
And this probably
right.
be a more aggressive way with this fear. But I feel like you take so much out of your control. Like I feel like there's obviously some stuff we're missing in between this
Mm-hmm.
because I feel like if you're going to move from one model to the next, that you just relinquish so much certainty
And
when
that
you
just
switch
that just when you said
those.
that, that just like made me think. Because every time we go back, we're seeing the system not as attuned as it is. And like something you just said made me think about that. Like maybe that's why Nice was an older iteration. Like he was the older like
Mhm.
older model. He had, what was his friend's name? Was it Rex? He had Rex
Something like that.
to
Yeah.
be his nemesis, to give that push and pull and to get his trust value up. So I don't know
Mhm.
if him and Rex just did that to be together. I think maybe he might blame himself for the fear system being harnessed potentially. I can see that because if him and Rex just did, I think Rex said that, like, I just did it to be close to him. Like, I just did that so we can still fight together once he became a hero. But I think maybe the commission realized how well that was working.
Mm.
And maybe they were just like, we need to harness that. Like every hero needs a nemesis.
And
So
then it kind of
let's.
just got out of hand.
I could see them wanting to use Rex in a way. Maybe that Nice didn't want. Like if they wanted to push it and they were like, we're gonna use Rex. We're gonna weaponize him. I can see Nice not wanting it to happen. So I don't
And
know.
you think he could have sought out Moon too to like
Who?
maybe like change the direction for his trust value to grow?
Maybe. I don't think Nice
Like to
wanted.
take eyes off of Rex and
Yeah,
hopefully
maybe.
not have him be incorporated in this fear thing. He finds Moon as a new way to elevate his trust value versus using
That
that.
makes sense. Yeah. Because that's the first thing they did was like his boss being his nemesis. I always just keep looking at that. I always keep looking at that of like his boss got turned into a villain immediately. Like as soon as he became Nice, his boss got turned into a hero. That means the commission just went and found his boss and basically I don't know what they did to that man, but they turned him into a villain.
Yeah, because like you said, it fits Rock's profile. That's what he did that entire arc.
Right.
He set up the whole kidnapping, so a new Isol could be the one to come in and save him to boost his
Right.
popularity. Then when he got to the part where I guess, it's time for him to elevate, he set up that whole situation to motivate him to fight old
Yeah.
Isol. Yeah, so yeah, the
It's
manipulation is
kind of
strong. So I
we're
can see that.
seeing it the same. Like we're seeing a lot of the same stuff with Nice and so I don't know. It just feels like a lot of it's
And in the
all
end, she
manipulation.
did say his handler did say, I keep switching their titles versus
Yeah.
PR, now it's handler.
She's handling.
Did say that you're eventually gonna have to make the same decision. And I always thought that was such a weird ass statement to make to somebody that you're trying to live out this role, and you're
Yeah.
telling him that eventually you're gonna have to make the choice if you want to commit suicide or continue to work for us. I was like, excuse me. At that point, I would have turned around, but
Yeah.
he wanted to be a hero so
They've
bad that
basically
that statement didn't phase him.
they've perfected turning people into these heroes.
Yeah, playing on their desires too. It has like there's
They've
some
perfected the whole
impressive level of
thing.
manipulation.
Yeah, because it
Yeah.
was like it was already planned out. It was like y'all did this before. Like when the way they pulled up on, they were like, oh yeah, we got it. Do this, this is it. Like they had done it. So it's like
Even finding the solution, like they just flew into that so smoothly.
right.
Like you said, the precedent of someone taking over another hero's moniker has been
That's
set.
ESO.
Yeah.
New ESO. And
So
that's why to me
it's slowly.
it's something.
You know what? Because I that's how I do like to watch these. I like shows that, especially when I haven't seen the source material. I love the whole theory crafting of a story, and
Exactly.
even though I was just harping on it, I like that they leave it open enough for us to have these questions and have these
Have
conversations,
some
because
time to
that's
put the
what
puzzle together.
drives. Yeah, that's what drives the interest in a series as a whole. Like that's what's going to keep me coming back for season 2, season 3, as long as it doesn't become infuriating.
Yeah.
This is enough to where we can at least get to a place where we're like, that makes sense. Let's see if that happens.
Yeah.
When it's a show where you don't have enough to say that is where it gets frustrating for me. I can't put it together. That was Uzumaki. I can't
you
put
like
shit together, and I can't make nothing make sense. And then when I finally get to the end, I still have those same questions. I don't see that for this.
Uzumaki made me so mad.
Uzumaki
You
was
just
I'm mad at
really-
how excited I was for that too.
It started off so strong.
Because the artwork was so
And
great.
it started off strong. Like it
Yeah.
piqued your interest. Like we watch, I'm like, I'm so curious about this. I'm so curious about this. And I'm just like, how did we get here?
Yeah.
It was such
Underground
a letdown.
sandcastles.
Like what are we talking about? But yes, I'm very curious. There has been this from YouTube. There's been theories that X is a streamer VTuber, and that's why his powers are so OP. So let's play with that
Little
idea.
TikToker.
Because
You got to think, if this was in real life, those are the people who would have it.
And your powers have to come from something you already are, at least from everything I've seen. You can't just make powers out of if you pretend to be somebody else. But like,
If I think it's it's a combination of things. I feel like it is having the eyes on you in the moment because
Having the
obviously,
eyes.
people don't have to know you beforehand to have this instant trust. So it's
Mhm.
having the eyes on you in the moment and what you're doing in that moment, not necessarily who you are,
Mhm.
but what you're doing because it's the perception, it's the optics of it all. So I could be this goofy ha 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 dude, but if I all of a sudden get cameras on me while I'm,
Yeah.
I don't know,
You become
saving
that.
a cat from a tree, jumping real
Now
high,
you the
then
cat
that's
saver.
probably they'll just give me it right. I can fly specifically to reach a cat.
Right, that's it. He can only save
I
cats.
gotta throw a cat in the air for me to fly to it. That's
Right.
how I travel.
Not a cat you throw around and you fly. My other theory about what X could be is I was thinking a magician. I was thinking he was a magician. That was kind of one of the things I thought, or a like card dealer, gambler. I was thinking either gambler or magician. That's like my random crackpot theory because of the coin flipping that we see in the intro. I know a lot of
Yeah.
magicians use
And he does
coins.
a lot of,
He do a
yeah, I
lot of
gotta
that
send you
coin
that
stuff.
trailer so you can watch it. It's a 6 minute. I feel like it gives us a lot of just
Yeah.
context to go off of.
To
I'm gonna
me,
send that to you.
magician is the only
But
thing that makes sense. Like gambler, but magician makes sense to me because of the snapping, change illusions, change of reality, teleporting. Like you don't really see him, sleight of the hand. Like he feels very magician to me.
that's the thing that's so odd about his abilities is like how do you gain trust if no one knows who you are?
That's what I'm thinking. What if he was just like a one of those mass magicians or something?
Hmm.
Or they just don't know who he
Yeah.
is because he affects reality. But the only other thing I was thinking about random crackpot theories, like I said, him flipping the coin, him being the one who threw Lucky Cyan her coin, the first. I think he threw her first money,
Hmm.
and I think it was the same coin. And that's why I know. I feel like I'm pretty sure that was him who gave her her first
Yeah,
coin,
I agree with you. I do think
and
that was
him,
him.
yeah, just having the coin. So I don't know if
Honestly,
he's rich.
he might have shown up in each one of these arcs because if nobody knows who
Ooh,
he is and we've only ever seen two forms of him, that doesn't mean that's his only forms. So he
do you think
probably
he like a
honestly could low
shapeshifter?
key be somebody in each one of these.
That just made me sick. Hopefully he ain't a shapeshifter. That's too much.
I don't think he's a
He can
shapeshifter. I
change his
just think he has
appearance
the
though.
ability to manipulate reality to some extent. Like literally
Mhm.
in the clip, like he snaps his fingers and he slowly changes to the white haired dude,
Mhm.
like with his ability. So honestly, who's to say that he can't just be anything? And
Yeah.
you would have to. You can't be completely unknown as a hero and only have two forms, because
No.
then
Yeah.
people would know you by those two forms. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, he is a hero, I guess. Like he's on the hero thing, right? He's a hero.
He is. He's the number one hero right now.
Okay.
He is. Whoever's the number one hero is X. X is a
There's some
person
part of me
specifically.
that
It's a
don't think
title.
X is really a hero though, because we're seeing all these guys with these
I don't either.
suits, with we seeing all these guys in these ominous suits, sitting around in boardrooms, making all the decisions, obviously doing things so that they stay in power. Because at the end of the day, the real tea is, if you have a hero, you still living good. Like they're living good off the backs of these heroes, which is kind of like when I saw
Mm.
Rockets, like he he wanted new Esau to rise up so he could rise up because we going to the
Yeah.
penthouse. Like I'm gonna be in
Right.
power. So I kind of feel like it's possible X is one of those people too. Like he's just they're manipulating things to keep him at the top, or he's
Or
manipulating things to
if
keep him at the top.
yeah, or if we kind of going down that same rabbit hole in that theory, he could have been somebody's handler at one point and found some kind of way to transfer that trust over to him, or he found some way to manipulate trust because it's just not sitting right with me that you can have one face and gain trust with that face, but then have multiple other ones and that trust like doesn't go away. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
who are they truly believing in?
Who and Deanna said he was in episode 10. I remember him being in episode 8. So where was he in this last episode? I didn't even notice him in this
X?
episode. Yeah.
A part of me says that I remember seeing him, but I can't tell you when.
Were
I
they
only
talking
saw this
about?
last episode once.
Yeah, I don't
Was it
remember.
towards the end of the episode?
I don't know. I just remember
I'm
seeing
about to
him in
flash through
episode
it real
8.
quick.
But yeah, there's something about it. And then also, basically, this whole commission trust system thing is them manipulating reality because it don't seem like trust system was just a part of Earth. So somebody done figured out how to do it. Oh, when they were talking about the tournament, he took down Queen.
Oh yeah, so that was it. It was I think it was a thought that Lucky in an effort to hammer home that she's taking luck from people, that she was the reason Queen lost to X
Mm,
in that battle
okay.
because she took her luck from her.
Oh, okay. So
So
he is.
that's what it was. That's why he got brought up. He
Did we
was in
see a
this episode.
picture of
Yeah.
him in this current iteration?
Yeah, it's Queen fighting X with his white hair.
Oh, he had white hair. Okay.
Yeah.
So he did have white hair at this point. But I think we're caught. I don't know if we were up to modern day in the Lucky Cyan. I don't know. Her story spans some years. And we know
It
Esau, we
looks
know
like
Esau went to see her. So I feel like when Esau went to see her was more where we ended with her story,
this
or
has to be in the past because when we saw, I think from what we knew at the time, modern day Lucky,
mm-hmm,
Queen had short white hair.
mm-hmm.
Right now, she has long white hair in a braid. So some time definitely passes from when we saw her talking to Lucky
Yeah.
Cyan till present day because her hair is extremely long
Yeah, it's
compared
long
to what it
now.
is now.
Right. Hmm. Yeah. It kind of makes me want to go back now that we have like a good amount of episodes, like 3 arcs that I can go and look at.
Mhm.
Now I'm feeling, because I was going to go back and watch it, but I was like, let me let hers finish. But now that there's like a good chunk, I'm like, okay, I can
Yeah.
watch this
I feel like we
back.
got some meat.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah,
some
we can
meat. It's
try
a
and catch
good
some
bite.
stuff. Like I do want to go back and watch it and just see if anybody just feels out of place, like a random character that got a little bit too much screen time.
Yeah, and then
You
also
know what I
seeing if
mean?
X pops up in the other ones, because I guess we wouldn't have been really looking for him like that. Maybe, I mean, we knew who he was, but I mean, the fact that he opens the show, we know he's the person. So it's just really hard for me to believe he, like you said, it might be a Where's Waldo, and it's like it just be really hard for me to
We
believe he ain't been popping up.
we had that theory for a second and I threw it away, but it came back up when you told me you heard those
Yeah,
snaps
I heard
in
the
the more
snaps.
recent episodes. I've been hearing them too. So
Yeah,
now, like, come on, man. He can't be somewhere in Antarctica snapping and we hear it in Japan. You know what I mean? Like, he has to be
right.
somewhere within these scenes or in the vicinity. I don't know why
What
he
is
would be
going
changing
on?
or using
Yeah,
his powers. I just know there's some meat left on the
yeah, I don't
bone in these
know.
episodes that I'm not seeing.
Shout out to Saint Goonatic for giving 5 tier 1 subs. I appreciate you. Thank you. Shout out to you. I really appreciate that. Let's go.
I,
New record.
I do have a question, dude. Thank you so much, Mr. Gifted Subs.
That name is
Um,
crazy. Saint Goonatic. That's crazy.
Going at it.
Yes, but we appreciate you. Thank you.
I love how is it a culture?
What?
Gooning as
Oh
a
God.
activity
Don't get me
that I
started.
never heard that term before 2024,
Really.
and I hate how it has like permeated my social media. Like RuPaul is over here gooning in videos. Like they're doing it on podcasts. I did not
What?
know this
Okay,
was
hold
a
on now. No,
thing, and it is.
what's gooning in when RuPaul does it? Because I only heard gooning in one way, so I'm just trying to make sure they the
Yeah,
same.
so
I'm trying to make sure they
so
the
from
same.
my knowledge, gooning is pretty much, an active obsession of the
Okay.
sexual nature
Okay.
where
Okay.
you're like pleasing yourself, but also just
Yeah.
looking very stupid. So like
Okay.
it's the
Okay.
cross-eyed tongue hanging out.
Thirsting. I mean,
Type
kind of just like
stuff.
you go like you really just okay. I just want to make
You
sure.
going to town. Yeah.
Okay.
And RuPaul did a video where he was just literally looking to the camera and being like,
Okay. I was just making sure because I've heard it when they were talking about love in deep space and talking about it's a gooner game.
yeah, 100%. I
They
know some girls probably they are rubbing it raw to
they
love in
calling
deep
it as a
space.
gooner. Okay. Because now I got
And
questions.
women can goon too.
It's
It
not
ain't just
that.
a dude
Because to
thing.
me, I'm like, so does flicking the bean have to be involved for it to be gooning? Or can it be
I
just
think
gooning
it's
if
the
you're
whole
just getting
act.
fanny flutters? Does fanny flutters throw it
No,
into the
Fanny Flutters is
realm
not
of
gooning.
gooning?
Gooning is not a cute, subdued little thing. No, bitch. You turned on Love and Deep Space and you was like, oh my God.
Okay, I was making sure. I was
And
making sure.
I know they are out there. Those girls are
I know it's
gooning.
happening. I
Oh,
just don't believe
these
that
dudes.
I just don't believe that the most of the Love and Deep Space fandom is really gooning out to the game. It don't have
I
enough.
do.
It doesn't have enough goonable material. I've played the
You don't be
game.
on Twitter enough, girl. The Love and Deep Space side content is
Oh no, we not talking
insane.
about. We ain't talking about that. I'm talking about just the game
No,
itself, just the
because
game.
that those experiences play into your
But
game.
we're all no,
If
but
you are
we
gooning
always a what
8 hours
pad.
of the day,
We always a what
and then
pad. We always a fanfic away. But in the game itself, the game doesn't have enough content for me.
but listen to me. I know the game itself doesn't have the content, but the girls that go on Twitter and go on Reddit and have their
Then they're
time
just
when they come
gooners.
back to play this game, those thoughts are still there. Those
Listen,
fantasies
y'all.
are still
First of
there.
all, not too much. Not too much.
Listen, ain't
Deanna.
nobody listen. Nobody's saying gooning is bad. Nobody's saying you shouldn't goon. Goon
Right.
your life away, girl. Goon till you cross-eyed. I'm just saying I did not know
See what
that
you done
was it
started
had a
goon at it.
name
See what you done started saying goon at it. Thank you for the subs. And just for those 5 subs, you got 5 minutes of random thoughts about
of goon
gooning.
talk.
And Deanna says, Laz is
Yeah.
50% comeback and 50% goon. The Tumblr is difficult. It is 80% goon on social. Deanna got the stats for us on the goon
Is
ratios.
Tumblr still a thing?
Yeah. Tumblr's kind of coming
I
back.
I thought Tumblr died after they took the sex off.
I don't know. Maybe it's coming back because people ain't really messing with X like that or Twitter. Inya's not Inya popped up for the Gooner talk. Gotta do it gooner or later.
Gooner or later.
Anyway,
Listen, that's the thing. I'm trying to think. I've probably gooned in my life and just not known I was
feel like
gooning.
most humans are, Thank you for whoever gifted me a sub. Yes, that was Saint Goonatic, which is why we went on that little tangent about gooning and love and deep space. And
I did have a when we get back to Tutu Hero X, I do have one final question about that.
Yeah, no, we bad. We
No,
bad.
I don't want to cut the gooning early.
Please cut the gooning early. Apparently,
Never interrupt the dude in his goon. That's what I feel like is a good life lesson. But I did. So are you familiar or like have you seen all 10 heroes yet? Like, have you been able to see them all?
Have I seen all 10 heroes? No.
Okay, because I was going to ask if there's any hero that we haven't seen yet that you're excited for.
I think I remember seeing the trailer for Dragon Boy. I'm interested in that.
Yeah,
but I didn't expect to like. I didn't expect to like. I got a weakness for white hair characters, so I just didn't expect to see. I didn't expect to like Nice as much as I did, and then they had like their whole little, secret lover story. I'm locked in. I'm locked in.
Surprisingly, because I have that same weakness for white-haired husbandos.
No,
but
I wasn't like Nice is hot. It wasn't that Nice was hot, but I think it's still like character. I like those characters.
Got you. Okay.
So I'm invested in it. Hidden Inventory is coming out July 16th. And
that
once
is
I go
so
see
diabolical.
And once I go see that movie, I'm gonna be even more locked into white hair characters with black hair lovers. Black lovers too.
Yeah, but they really did that with Nice and Rex.
Yeah, I'm
they really tried to say.
I was triggered.
They're actually missing some coin, not really investing in that storyline as much as they could have. That could have been an extra episode,
right? So I think I am locked in on that, but I am excited to see about Dragon Boy. I'm trying to see what's up with this dog. Like, I need the backstory.
I am so
like what's happening.
Like it's gonna have to be like a lot of humor in his story arc.
This one dog, it was like rumors that he saved the kid or something, and then he just became a hero. Like this dog is just like heroic. Yeah, he can talk.
With this fucking hat and
it's so out of pocket. Yeah, I'm very curious about it. So yeah, probably the dog and Dragon Boy.
I would say if Dragon Boy, but then also actually There is another white haired dude that has this like
Oh yeah, I
he's
did
like
see
real
that.
knife heavy. I'm interested in him too.
Yeah.
Both of them. I want to be interested in Queen, but she gets me very dry, and I'm not. I feel like I'm just not gonna relate. She
I'm
looks
usually
epic,
not
and
in
her fight scenes look dope.
I'm usually not into that character, the very like studious, like I have had to lock in since I was a kid. Like there's a lot of
Hmm.
times there are those characters in hero ensemble shows, and I'm never really into
Hmm.
that character. But we'll see. She might win me over. They've done a good job with getting me emotionally invested in the little time that each person has. So
Hmm.
I wonder if they're going to be able to pull me in with her story. So I'll be curious to
I
see.
feel like she's gonna be out of all of them. She's gonna be the toughest sell for me. I feel
Yeah.
like I'm just gonna obviously love her fighting style and what she actually does, but
Hmm.
like as a character, she's gonna be the toughest sell for me.
Yeah, same. Deanna said that Johnny seemed interesting because his dad was once ex. Okay.
Say it again.
The Johnnies, there's a character named
Oh,
Johnny,
the
right?
Johnnies.
Seem
Yeah, yeah,
interesting
yeah.
because his dad. So yeah, that'll be
Oh,
interesting.
so I'm gonna enjoy seeing this whole previous X situation too, because I want to know how long this current X has been X. Because like I
Because it's the
said,
current
previous
ex.
Soul at some point was an X.
Yeah. X is just the name of the
So
top
this is now
hero, right?
three. Yeah, this is
Yeah.
just the title of the top
So
hero.
what's his
So
name?
X, the current X probably has a name. We just don't know yet. At least I don't.
Yeah. I'm so curious about this man. This reveal better be good. Because they got me
That's what I'm
so
saying.
curious.
And he better be evil.
I need him to be evil. I like a good villain too. I
I
hope
think
it's
he
like
is.
on some extermination shit. You know I
I mean
love
that
that.
that was what Zero, that hero
Mhm.
turned villain.
Mhm.
He was on some extermination shit. So
Yeah, like I
if I
hope.
feel like Zero might be X. So if that's the case, we might get
Mhm.
that. We might get that.
Like he's gonna take him down from the inside.
Probably.
That'd be cool
Like
too.
obviously his first attempt didn't work with an actual all out assault, so maybe he might be working a little different angle.
Yeah. Well, either
Hmm.
way, we're very excited to keep watching this show. I don't know. Are they're not gonna break this up into two sides? Because I know I'm hearing 24 episodes. So I'm like, can I expect
I'm
for them
thinking
to
this
just
is
keep
24
going?
straightforward. I
Yeah.
think this is 24 straightforward. I haven't heard nothing about no mid hiatus or anything like
We
that.
got
Now,
some.
granted, they're setting this up to be able to make a nice solid break at what, 12?
That's
Because
what
if
I
we're at
mean.
10 now,
Are we gonna take a break in between
potentially
12?
I feel like we're gonna know by the end of her arc,
Yeah.
Queens, because she's only 2 episodes and that's 12. So
Yeah, so if we take a little break, I
yeah.
mean that's cool. So outside of that, I don't think we don't have any shows that we know we're gonna talk about after this. So it would be nice if they keep going, but maybe they won't. We're definitely gonna. Are you gonna go see Hidden Inventory movie in theaters?
Yeah, it's Pride Month.
And that's why I'm like, y'all know you.
Dropping this
I've
during
heard
Pride
about the
Month.
new
I have
scenes.
to
I've
see it.
heard about the new scenes, and I don't
Oh,
know.
there's new scenes in it?
Yes.
Now I know there was some new drawings that were put
Yeah, they
out
said
that
there was
showed
some like
some backstory.
I think they said they had more shots. I know they were like pictures. I think I heard somebody not like whole scenes, but I think they added like just more. Like not a new
Yeah,
whole
from
scene, but just like more. I don't know how to explain it. Like more.
okay. Because I was just seeing if that was because I know that there's one drawing that the creator put out that has Suguru kind of being a mama's boy,
Yeah.
checking in with his mom or something like that. It was just a little drawing of him and a blurb written, and then there was I think the same thing with Gojo, pretty
Yeah,
much
it's like
showing
they
that he
said
left his clan.
they added content. So that's what I'm thinking. It's like it's not scenes, but I think that's the content
Mm,
they added. Just like more information
got
through
you.
whatever
Which I
media, which I'm
listen, give
here
it all
for.
to
Cause
me.
I'm a cry. Like I've never seen a movie anyway when
I
my
think especially
fave
with the
dies.
context, and now that I've like actually finished the series now,
Yeah.
I'm probably gonna cry.
Why is he doing this to us though?
Number one, they trying to make more money. This is an obvious
And I'm
cash
gonna give
grab,
it to
but
them.
yeah, I'm gonna give it to them 100%. Because it's I think Attack on Titan just recently did they put I think they put like the first 3 seasons in one movie, but like
Yeah.
did like they cut it up to where it just flowed a little quicker.
Yeah, I mean, Demon Slayer does this all the time. Like they'll do a movie and then like do split it up into episodes after. So they do that all the time. So I mean, it's something that's normal. I'm cool. They're gonna get my money. Yep, it's gonna happen.
Although I'm not gonna stop saying this because I will die on this hill. I bring back the original movie content. Bring back the days of Dragon Ball Z. Dragon Ball Z has like 20 movies that just don't tie in to the show.
Yeah, they used to be a
Bring that
thing.
back.
Yeah,
Bring that back, please.
yeah. I feel
would
like it's
love a
lazy.
random story of like Toji back when he,
Oh my
I don't know,
god,
was first navigating through there. I would love to see
I
a
would
random
love
movie
that.
of Gojo leaving his clan. I would love to see a random movie of the sisters.
Or when you be having them B
With
side characters, Toto, like they have so many. The curses, they have so many. Jujutsu Kaisen specifically has so much that they can work with. One
yeah,
Piece does that too. Yeah, One Piece got about 50 little movies out.
that's what I'm saying. Naruto, but these
Yeah,
are all the older, you know,
the big
the
three.
older big ones. Yeah,
These
like
new
they
anime,
would have so much.
these new
And the
big
new anime
three.
is just putting out future episodes in a movie format and then giving us the same
Shit,
episodes
they
when they
gave us
come
the
out.
old episodes. Jujutsu Kaisen is like
That
these
too.
already out. Come get them
Yeah.
again. Come get them. Like, can you give me a
But
anatomy
not
movie?
everybody
Like,
can do this.
no.
That's what I'm saying. Give us something else. Not everybody can do this though. Like Jujutsu Kaisen, Demon Slayer, they can put out newer that we haven't got that we're going to get, or just repackaging older content because the subject materials can stand up. Like Freerin could do that. I would pray that Freerin would not though.
They have,
Freerin needs to give us. Oh my God. The
but
the way they tell that story, you could do anything. Take anyone and just
mhm.
give them time.
They do so much world building,
Like,
like
girl,
good
these
world building.
C
They take their
characters.
time. They take their time. Freeing.
I am interested in every single character that has popped up on my free run screen.
Yeah.
The demons, you could give me a side story with them.
Freeing
Like,
definitely takes their time. It's like a breath. It's like when I first started watching it, I think it was just like Studio Ghibli meets, epic adventure. Like it just they breathe. That's the best way to describe Freeing. Freeing. Like they let it breathe. I don't know how to explain it. It's just like they let it open up. They don't rush. It feels like they're not rushing anything, but they're covering huge swaths. They covered all this time because of Freerin being an elf and she doesn't, how she experiences time is different from humans. But I just love the way it feels. I don't know how to explain it, but it just feels very.
it makes you look at it from a different lens.
Yeah.
When you honestly, the first time I watched it, so normally it takes a second watch to reprocess it with a different lens. I feel like this one makes you switch lenses as you're watching it because of the way they talk and the dialogue and the things that you want to catch. Voice is so smooth.
Freerin had me crying like the first episode. I feel like did I cry the first episode or the second? I feel like I cried pretty early.
It definitely had me and my feels from get go.
Yeah, it had me in my feels because of her kind of love story, and it's just like I love romance anime, and they do like a good balance. I love this idea of her understanding love as time goes by. So like every time she like realizes he loved her, him, or every time she thinks back to him, it's like it's so emotional. Fuck.
Yeah,
like
and it's a constant. And it's not even like she did her growing and now she's trying to relive it. She's currently growing as she's moving forward with this new party. She knows there's work to do, which is why she agreed to go on this journey. But now it's actually doing it on this journey, and we actually seeing her, move through those paces.
And
it's just so good.
Her too.
So
What's
good.
her name? I can't remember their name. I'm so bad with names. I'm like getting old.
Fern
and
Stark.
Yes. Oh my god. they're so cute.
And I did not think I was gonna love Stark at all.
I
thought Stark was gonna be that little goofy character,
right?
But they definitely gave him his moments, his coins.
I like his little.
They gave him his time.
Relief, his comic relief is good. It's just enough, but seeing him and Fern just be doing whatever they trying to do, honey, trying to figure it out. It's adorable. I just absolutely
But that's what I like about this show. And that's why I think it, when you couldn't describe it and you was like, it just gives you time to breathe. I think because they don't focus on just killing one aspect of a great anime. They're
no,
not
yeah,
focusing on just the animation. They're not focusing on
just the
just the fight
battle,
choreography.
right?
They're not focusing on just the slice of life. Like they're giving
It's
you
like
it's
introspection. It's a hero's introspection, like through time. It's kind of
yeah.
like the best way to describe it.
While also hitting each and every point that makes a good anime, like
Right.
slaying each category. I would think that an anime that would split its attention like this would present a mediocre, not a mediocre, but like a medium average type
Mm-hmm.
digestibility with each subsection. But no, they are choosing an aspect, demolishing it, eating the plate, and then moving on to the next aspect and doing
Yeah,
the
cause,
same.
cause when you watch it, you like know she gonna win. That's the thing about Free. Like I just know she gonna win, but it's like that's not the point. It's almost like you're
Right.
watching it and you're like, that's not the point. The point is not like will she win? She gonna win, but the point is like what did she learn through the journey? So it's something about the way that they frame it, which I love to see Free
Mhm.
get active, but it's just like you know
Oh,
she
when she
gonna.
lock in,
Oh, I just
when
love
she
her.
chuckle at your efforts, bitch. Like when that one dude thought he was gonna come in and throw some shoestring on her. I
She
love
is
it.
so cutthroat. Like when she like how she hates the demons, and they were like when oh my god when she killed the
She said,
little.
"Why are y'all pinning me down?"
And like when she killed the little demon lady who had sent the people in, I can't remember her name, but she was the
Mm-hmm.
one who had the army,
Or I
and
think
she walked away and she
like
was like, "Kill yourself." I said,
that.
"Bitch."
Because
I was just like,
you really
really
thought,
thought,
like you really
oh,
thought.
the walk away
Which
was
is why I'm
so
so
clean.
excited. Which is why I'm so, listen, turn into a whole free episode.
I know we need to just do
Because
a
I am
separate.
so we go
We gonna have to.
I'm so excited about Free Ren's journey. Like I'm actively stopping myself from reading the manga because I want to experience it, visualize in an anime for the first time. But I will be going back.
Right.
Trust. But just her potential and like the way that Fern is raising her to be exceptional, but too firm because this is all new to her. She thinks she's just some humdrum, basic ass ability. I just love
I love it. I love
her not
Fern's
knowing who
stale
she
face.
is.
I love Fern's stale
It's
face when
awesome.
she be fighting. Fern have nothing in them eyes.
When
There's
when she was walking towards old demon with the blood and the nightgown, and she
yeah.
was just from the front, from the back, through the
I
side,
said,
round the head,
I said
bitch.
there is nothing behind that girl's eyes. Nothing. she be,
Besides success,
she be
besides knowing and I love it too
she be
because
locked
you would
in.
think that Stark would be the one that's in Fern's position. Like when Stark was freaking the fuck out because number one, both of them got the stuff to take these demons on,
Mm-hmm.
hands down, but they just don't believe in themselves in that
Right.
way. And so Stark freaking the fuck out, thinking that he was gonna have to fight
Oh,
these
that
two demons
drag.
because
Oh, the
Fern
demons.
went
Yeah.
on her.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Fern was like, I got some other stuff to take care of. Why don't y'all do it for me? And she was like, well, we have a job now, so let's go do it. Like, I love Fern's attitude. It's like, even if I don't think I'm gonna win, bitch, we have a job to do.
Yeah.
So why are we
And
sitting here
Freeman
crying
ass
about
be
it?
leaving them like she's like, I'm finna go. I just love her.
Cause
She
she
just
knows.
I be
Cause she
like, Freeman is
knows. She knows
definitely
what they're capable of.
I was like, she on the spectrum. I absolutely love her. Like if there was a
She on
person
the spectrum.
if there was a person who's on the spectrum, I think they would identify with her. But I think it's just because of how she identifies time, like experiences time and all the things she's
Yeah.
experienced.
She's been alive for 1,000 years. She's gonna
She
seem
be in
like
her
that.
own world. She be like, I got this spell to make this. I be like, Freeman. She was like, oh, maybe we gonna stay here for 6 years.
I love that. I love that too. Like she was like, let's just stop here for a good little 60 years, work on getting this village up, and then we can move. Bitch, I'm human.
She
You want
kills
me to
me.
spend my life here?
She kills me. Fire be like 2 weeks.
I gotta go rewatch this.
Oh my god,
It's so
I
good.
absolutely
Season
love
2
her.
can't come quick enough.
I absolutely love it. I'm not all the way caught up yet, but because Devil's Plan snatched me
Ooh,
up.
I'm glad I haven't said something then.
Yeah,
Great.
I'm on
So
episode
where are
like
you right now?
20. I think they were doing the little sorcerer's exam or whatever, because you had to be a level 1 to go into
Okay,
a certain
great.
area. So they were like in that part.
Ooh, I was on the spoiler was on the tip of my tongue, just about to fall out.
Child, you know I
I'm
wouldn't
glad you
remember.
said that.
You know I wouldn't
I
remember.
know, but still, I think I get more of my feelings about spoiling stuff with people because I want them to experience how I experienced it.
Oh, and Deanna said Solo Leveling robbed them for real. Did it beat Freerun?
They did. It Solo Leveling won Anime of the Year from the Crunchyroll
Mm-hmm.
Olympics, from the Crunchyroll Awards. But
Yeah.
then what was it, the AMA Awards?
Mm-hmm. I don't know.
There was another awards where Free Rent did get Anime of the Year. And honestly, I fully agree with the backlash that Crunchyroll got for that because like honestly, it's just like how I said that Free Rent takes each
It's so
aspect
much.
of an
It's
anime
so much
and
more.
just
It's so
smashes it.
deep. It's layered.
So Solo Leveling, they take the fighting aspect and the power scaling and they focus heavy on that, but everything else I feel like is, just pushed a little bit more forward and not like focused on. Like I don't care about each and every character in Solo Leveling like I
No.
do about Free Run.
Y'all know what we
Like
here
the
for. Solo
yeah,
Leveling is. We know what it's here for. To say it's
yeah.
not as layered as something like Free Rent is, and I don't think anybody even we watched Solo Leveling, we enjoyed it, but you ain't gonna sit here
Yeah,
and
girl,
I ain't gotta pretend,
you're talking to
right?
the manhwa fan. I will go back and reread it
Yeah,
right
I'm
now.
not gonna pretend
But
though.
it's just like, yeah, we're not gonna look at a fucking dry age porterhouse for $2,000 and compare it to this
Mm,
steakums.
no,
We're
we're
not gonna
not.
do that.
We're not.
We're not
Not a
gonna do that.
steakums.
We're gonna be real.
Not a
On the
steakums.
steakums was rude. Let's say 8 ounce
Let's just
filet
say a
mignon.
little, yeah, a little.
Yeah, a little 8 ounce versus this dry age porterhouse. We're not gonna say that those are the same thing and those are in the same conversation. Now, I feel like what they could have done was either made a new category or defined what
We
made it
need we
anime of the
need.
year. Was it just its reach? Was it the popularity? Because that can't be disputed.
No,
Like that
but
was
I also
hitting.
can
They were
see it. I
hitting
think I
9 point
honestly think
ratings each
Solo
episode.
Leveling probably had more viewership than Free Rent anyway. So if you also lift it up to
Yeah,
viewers' vote, I think more people just would have watched Solo Leveling than Free Rent. Honestly, I think it probably would just come down to sheer numbers, like how many people are really voting for that. Because I
got you.
think we the fans vote. Because we voted 1 year on stream. So if it's a viewer
Yeah, we
vote
did.
thing on Crunchyroll, I definitely think Solo Leveling bought solely out of viewership. Like
Versus
people,
like,
old ladies in
industry
I
voting.
I wear anime stuff everywhere. Old ladies in Publix be watching Solo Leveling.
Yeah.
Like the cashier, this old white lady cashier to my, oh, you watch anime? Do you watch Solo Leveling? I said, why are you watching Solo Leveling? That's my question. And so I just think it's a sheer viewership thing. They need to add top aura farmer as a category for next year. We need that. Sunjin would
Top
definitely
or
have won.
farmer.
Yeah, he definitely would have won. He definitely.
That's the thing. There's things where
Yeah, add some little fun
they
categories.
excel.
Yeah, add some cute little extra categories, you know? If you want to do that.
T what's okay, so TAAF. What awards is that?
I don't
I'm about to see. TAAF anime.
know. Is that where Free Run
awards.
won?
Yeah, they got anime of the year. Okay, Tokyo.
Anime Award Festival.
Oh, well, that's Tokyo.
So-
Anime, yeah, they got sense.
Yeah, I was just trying to see if they were fan voted.
Yeah. But
Or,
even
like,
like what I
industry.
think would be bigger in Japan versus America is gonna be different too.
That's true.
Like what
The
they
level
value,
of actual appreciation and
yeah,
honoring
like what they
the actual
value.
subject matter.
Yeah, I totally can see that being different too. So, absolutely.
Uh.
But anyway, I guess.
Well-
Well, I guess if we end up not having content to do, we can always just throw in a free rent episode. Apparently, we should. We need to talk
Yeah,
about it.
I would 100% be down for that. Free rent,
After
I
I
can't.
finish it.
I feel like a fanboy when I talk about it, but it deserves.
It deserves, yeah, the hype. And yeah, I think we should do that after we finish because I don't know what's coming out. I know it's a lot of stuff coming out this summer, but we'll see. You know, we got a little spot in there we
Ooh,
could throw
the
it in.
summer Hikari died, or Hikaru, whatever his
Oh,
fucking
yes.
name is. I am ready. I'm ready.
When they come out,
watched
when they come
another
out,
trailer
because
about
I've seen
it.
trailers and I have no idea when it comes out. And then there's that other anime that we thought was coming out with this batch because we watched trailers, but it wasn't. It was in June. I think it's coming out the end of this month. But it was like a
What was that? I
virgin
remember it now too.
battle
We
something.
gotta go
I
back and
think
watch that video.
yeah, I think virgin was in the title, but I can't remember the name of it. But it kind of reminded us of a Gunslinger Girl or something like that, and the action looked crazy. I think that comes out at the end of this month. Boys love horror anime.
Oh, damn.
Is that what this
Yeah, the
is?
summer. Yeah. Yeah, boys love horror.
I didn't even know it was
Pretty
boys
much.
love. Actually I did know
Yeah,
that.
I think the white haired dude is obsessed with the black haired dude, I think.
White hair dude, black hair dude, boys love. So while you're looking for that,
Right up your alley.
right?
Oh, yeah, I
I
found
was
it.
gonna say,
It's Reliable Fed.
speaking of, I volunteer. There's a place in my city that does a lot of anime events, and they did an open call for like volunteers for different events, and so I like volunteered for different ideas. All I'm gonna say is I'm definitely pushing a boys love event because I need somewhere to go to get the merch. Like, we trying to push this, so I'm trying to do viewing parties.
Please
Boys,
send my invite.
yeah, boys love events or boys love cafe because they do that in like Korea. They'll have like cardboard cutouts and stuff. I'm thinking about doing a Love and Deep Space event, so I'm trying to push this. I guess they give you everything you need to pull off the event. It's just you come up with ideas and curate it. So
that's kind of, I think we went a couple months ago. We went to the Orin High School fan club cafe.
Yeah,
and the girls was dressed as the guys, how they do.
Yeah.
And there was a invitation to lead one, and I think that might be kind of the same thing because they were like, "That's why you should do one," because I was like the main one interacting and trying to like make it fun because girl, it was boring.
Yeah.
But it was like, you should lead one. You should lead one. I was like, I ain't gonna do that.
I don't know if they'll. I mean, they only have one entrance, so I feel like they can do it 18 and up. I know a boys love event would have to be 18 and up. But I'm thinking about doing it. I had a few ideas. I had one where it's just like a boys love cafe, get some cardboard cutouts of our favorite boys love characters, take pictures like they do in Korea. I was also thinking about one with just like all the hot anime guys and just like making it like a female fandom event where like Haryana Hook, who has like a YouTube channel, she's always there. I love her. We always hug and talk every time we see each other. She has a whole channel about commentary about being like a female fan in the anime fandom. She does like think pieces. And so she's always there, and she would go off with the panels about the female gaze, about the female fandom, about how Jujutsu Kaisen changed everything. I want to host.
Truly did.
It did.
It really changed the landscape of Thurston.
I want to host a female fandom event where we talk about that stuff on panels because solo leveling, aura farming, we need to talk about it. It's a phenomenon. So I'm thinking about just throwing in all of that stuff into an event. So fingers crossed they let me do my big one. Awesome. Let me do my big one. That's all I'm saying. I'm just trying. I need to. Right. So yeah. So that may be coming up this summer, but we'll see. But anything else? I think that's it. We're at 2 hours. Shout out to everybody who joined. Thank you. I'm assuming this is Rashawn, who is Saint Goon Addict, which I feel like you trolling. We gonna have a conversation because of his name. We finna have a conversation offline about you talking about Love and Deep Space and Gooners. I see shots. Shout out to you. Shout out to Deanna Woolfolk on YouTube. We enjoyed your comments and your help for keeping us on track. So thank you. I appreciate you. And we will see y'all hopefully next week to talk about we don't know.
Maybe free reign. We don't know, but
free
we gonna have something.
Yeah, because we want to at least let Queen's 2 episodes pass before we talk about To Be a Hero. Yeah, which I like that because we like the batch. So we'll come back after her 2 episodes and talk about it. So next week, if we don't figure out anything else, we'll do free run or whatever. So yeah, we'll see y'all next week. And dang, I gotta play an outro. That's crazy. Okay, bye y'all. know we can hear you.